And out there?
Mm-hmm. Wherever. Hey, Jackie. How are you?
Tired of yourself?
Me?
Tired of yourself?
Free time.
Free time.
Hey, this guy here,
You come over?
I done had these guys, I had more 5 30 years. These here, I got them, they already pre-tied. All I gotta do is pull them down and pull them off.
Look at you.
So why are you wearing one?
Huh? Why?
Yeah.
Well, you got good taste there,
Yeah,
Pastor.
yeah, everybody else got it, so I just figure out.
You should at least wait until tomorrow. I can show you.
Okay. I wanna go on, set the standard. I'm gonna do it. How you doing? How's your weekend?
Oh. Really hard working early morning, late
What?
evening.
You do yours?
Part of it right now. See, a lot of things in the garden.
My grass is dead. My grass was like, can you give us some water? I said, man, you better pray for rain.
You got enough baptismal not to do that, do you?
You gonna survive? You better pray for rain.
No, we're trying to.
My grass is dead.
Okay.
Take care. Brother.
That went well. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Y'all stay out the streets, man. Come to the gym. Come to, you want to shoot? Come.
And I forgot, I did have Bridget to come in with community development, because, we're doing that work.
Okay. Not today.
I forgot.
Okay.
It's time unless you tell us not to.
No.
Got 'em.
Well, I will save this, Chris, if you're okay with that, till I'm really kind of tired.
Well, that's what I do too.
I like pictures, though.
Like looking.
I like pictures.
Question came through. I told you in May, I hope to see you in August. I'll tell them today, I hope to see you in November. I just try to come every 3 months. Just things I'm gonna say. But nobody else is saying
Yeah,
they tried.
yeah, I would be very.
How are you? Y'all doing all right? How are you? Me too.
Hey, Chris.
How are you?
Good, man.
Tony, how are you?
Oh, yeah.
Must be from when was the last meeting here? Shoot, I don't think Um,
silent. Don't y'all look down here when I'm going.
Here we go.
About 50.
Good afternoon, everyone. The Shreveport City Council meeting is now called to order. I'm going to ask Paul Pratt to give the invocation. I ask Councilman Butcher to lead us in the pledge. Everybody stand, please.
Good afternoon. Let us go to the Lord in prayer. Oh, Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, first of all, for waking us. We thank you, God, for being God all by yourself. God, you were here from the beginning. And God, we need your guidance this day. We ask that you touch these servant leaders, our mayor, our city council, that they will make the proper decisions to make this a better place for all of our citizens. Make Shreveport a better place, Louisiana a better place, and our world a better place. We know, God, that you're the only one that can grant forgiveness, and we thank you for all that you do. Guide us this day. It's in your Son, Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. If you would face the flag and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Taylor.
Present.
Councilman Brooks.
Here.
Councilman Talaferro.
Here, ma'am.
Councilman Butcher.
Here.
Councilman Jackson.
Here.
Councilman Green.
I'm here.
And Councilwoman Bowman.
Present.
Does any council member have any awards, distinguished guests not to exceed 15 minutes? And I do. We have a couple of presentations today. I'm going to ask Leon Wheeler to come forward, please, and his crew. I'm going to ask Ms. Signora Thomas from Congressman Cleo Fields' office to join them. And everyone that's a part of what Leon want to talk about today.
Good afternoon to everyone, to the mayor, to the administration, staff, and to members of the City Council. It is my distinct pleasure to be before you again, especially with an honor for Mr. Leon Wheeler coming from Congressman Cleo Fields. Leon Wheeler, creator of Hoop Don't Shoot, because I love my neighborhood. So in recognition of his outstanding leadership as Fair Share Director for the City of Shreveport and for his unwavering commitment to empowering youth and strengthening communities through the creation of Hoop Don't Shoot, because I love my neighborhood initiative. On behalf of the constituents of Louisiana's 6th Congressional District, we proudly recognize and commend the exemplary leadership and steadfast commitment to building stronger bonds with the community on the part of Mr. Leon Wheeler. And on this date, we share from Congressman Cleo Fields, Member of Congress, 6th District of Louisiana.
All right.
You know, I've been doing this since 1974 as a young man, pushing handicapped children in Special Olympics. So this is nothing new. Have always championed the less fortunate. Have always championed the fortunate. I've been there. This is nothing new, but nothing can be done by yourself. I don't care who you are. I don't know how strong you are. You got to have a team. You got to have people to help you and support everything you do. And these people behind me really believe in me. They really, really believe in me. I want to introduce the champions, though, first. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves because these are business owners and community leaders. I made a phone call to them and what I was trying to do. My job in the city of Shreveport is to grow and enhance inner city businesses. But the hardest aspect of that is the narrative that we are an unsafe community.
Correct.
That narrative is very strong.
Correct.
I don't care. You can put the best and brightest out there. When that news talk about this shooting that going on the Cooper Road, that shooting going on in Hollywood and Moortown, it sets us back tremendously with these young kids doing. So I asked a few businesses in the neighborhood would they stand up with me to initiate, grab these kids that's out there doing the worst and put them in something constructive. We had over 120 to 160 children participate in this project. And we're gonna show a little video if y'all don't mind. Can I get at least a minute to show a video of these kids, the excitement? Can you, yeah.
Y'all stay out the streets, man. Come to the gym. You want to shoot? Come to the gym. Get some buckets, man.
I'm always constantly talking to them about finding other things to do versus running the streets, getting in trouble, because trouble is easy to get into. And we try to use sports to kind of channel some of that energy that they have. And fortunate for me, they love sports.
Winning the championship with me and my team, it was really good because we weren't playing how we usually play. And we came back and got it together and won because we knew what was on the line.
And it was just a good experience, and not just with my boys. And I actually treat them all like my son. I pick them all up, take them to practice, whoever need a ride. So it was like each one of them was my boys, and it's fun, and I love doing it.
All gas, no breaks.
Man, my name is Sean Davenport. I feel like this event is great. It gives people a chance to go do something fun without it ending in a bad way. Gives the community a chance to just relax, watch some good basketball, because it's always good hoops around the city.
This is Kyle Bryant. I just wanted to say I'm very grateful for this opportunity. It brings light to the community, to young kids and also young adults. There's something outside of just the streets. You have a family that love you, people that love you. It's a great environment. I actually lost a friend and a teammate in David Myers, so I'm really glad they're doing this, giving back to the community. So.
My name is Julius Johnson. I go to Green Oaks and I'm 14. My favorite parts of Hoops Don't Shoot is communicating with my teammates, playing good ball. I got better in my shooting, my handles. I learned how to control my anger too.
The changes that I've noticed in Julius is that he's more outgoing now. He's more sociable. He's coming out of his shell and wanting to play basketball more. The coach, who is awesome, we love Coach, has put together this team, and it's like a family. Coach cares about what's going on with the teammates. He's responsible. He shows leadership. He shows them that you can have a job, have a career. He's an entrepreneur. You can be part of your community and be a family man at the same time.
Integrity, honesty, and growth. And accountability. That's what my company represents. That's what I live by. That's what I stand by. To be able to, represent that in my neighborhood, it means a lot. To take nothing and make it out of something, I just thank God for being able to give me, those challenging tasks. Tomorrow's not promised to any of us, so while we're here today, let's try to create that memory of, just positive surrounding.
Do y'all see the excitement?
I want to thank the Hoop Don't Shoot community for allowing this event to come true.
I had a good time with my teammates.
We're in it to win, and we're in it to the end. So, hey, here we go.
Like I said, it takes a team. It was some serious work to pull this off. I mean, literally hours and hours up 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to make this happen. But again, this team behind me and the ones that's not with me, I really, really appreciate. I really appreciate the mayor for giving me this opportunity. City council, Tom Dog, the whole team, the whole environment. It was a struggle, but we did it. And those kids really appreciate what we done for them. And these coaches are still involved with them. They're still involved in those communities, trying to make our community strong. I'm gonna let everybody, the few that we have, if I get one more minute, if y'all don't mind, to introduce themselves, because it's very important.
I'm just gonna put this right here. I'll lay it down. I'm Sheila Crosby Wimberly of Team Crosby Wimberly, Hoop Don't Shoot. And I just want to say they were an awesome group of young people. It was amazing because I told Leon I almost quit and was not in the tournament because twice I thought I had a team.
Hold on. Mr. Creel. Okay, since Mr. Kraft has given us the warning, all y'all silence y'all cell phones.
Well done, Kim.
You can reclaim your time. Go ahead.
And like I was saying, I almost quit the tournament. And I called Leon 2 days before, and I told him, I said, I'm not a quitter. I'm not quitting. I'm going to find a team. So I boo-hoo cried to my daughter. She's like, Mom, my husband, he was a champion in his day. Call him. So I called my bonus son, Mario. And he said, Mom, I thought you had a team. I was like, well, I thought I had a team too. And he said, that's okay. I got you. And he called his classmate, Coach Andrew Halsey, down in Gippsland, Louisiana. And so I don't want to say anything else. I just want to call out these young people's names. They're in school today. They couldn't be here. So and we had to have one girl. And I definitely have to call my girl first because she took us to the championship and couldn't compete in the championship. She's so tall. She's like 6'3". And she had to have emergency surgery. So she didn't make it back for the championship game. But she got us there. Her name is Kamaya. She's a student at Huntington High School, my alumni, so I have to shout her out. But the rest of those students are AJ, Terrion, Emmanuel, Tyler, Jace, Jackson, Dalen, Legerian, Tajerian, Messiah, Ricky, and Amarion. I have to call their names because they got in this thing and they was just having a good time. And they said, Miss Wimberly, we got you. We're going to take it all the way to the end. And they did exactly that. Not only did I get a whole team, I got a coach too. And we went down to practice with them, and it was absolutely amazing. So there are some amazing things that young people are doing. If we just involve them in community activities, the sky is the limit for these young people. I advocate for them all the time because I believe in young people. And just happy to be a champion. So thank you to the Hoop Don't Shoot.
Yeah, I'm Gerald Walker with Accurate Diagnostics. I just want to say thank you for the opportunity, and I appreciate everything.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I must be a Miss Shelley and her team with SPAR, Chief Wayne Smith, the police department. They came hard when working with us to pull this off. We didn't want them to be a perimeter type policing. They had to be involved, working with the kids, giving out trophies, high-fiving, throwing footballs, the whole 9 yards. So the police department was very involved in this process. And we got Tamika Johnson. She helped coordinate the ambassadors. We had ambassadors at each gym. My daughter visiting from Dallas, she had to come be by my side. There's Antoinette Wheeler. Miss Sharon Johnson, she gonna coordinate everything that I asked her to coordinate. She coordinate everything for me. And definitely without a miss is Miss Kiara Coleman. When I say she jumps on it, she jumps on it. She put this footage together for me. Awesome. And I thank her for that. And I thank City Council for giving me an extra minute or two.
That was not a minute.
Thank you. I thank you for y'all time.
Congratulations. Thank you all so much. Tell me about it. So I'm going to ask the Financial Empowerment Center to please come up. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, council members, Mayor. Thank you for this chance to share what we've been doing with the Financial Empowerment Center for the last few months. My name's Diane Libro. I'm the Executive Director of Catholic Charities of North Louisiana. And as of May, we have been partnering with the city to provide the services of the Financial Empowerment Center. I'm going to share a little bit about Catholic Charities in general, and then let my coworker Joe fill you in on some of the details of the FEC. But in general, our mission at Catholic Charities is to alleviate poverty and restore justice in the community. We were founded, all right, we have a slideshow. I don't know how to make it show up for y'all. There we go. We were founded in 2010, and financial education and emergence financial assistance has been part of our job since the very beginning. At that time, Bishop Duca sent out some folks across the diocese, which is all 16 parishes of North Louisiana, to see what was needed. And the three things that came up were immigration assistance, financial education and emergency assistance, and family stability. And so with that financial education and assistance piece, that's where the seeds of what's now the FEC was able to start. We, in 2022, we added HUD housing counseling to our portfolio, and then this year was the FEC. As y'all are probably very much aware, our community is in great need of these financial services. 50% of our population here in Caddo-Bossier lives under a living wage. So many of them, they're working hard, they're doing all they can do, and they're just barely keeping it together every month. They don't have enough for an emergency, missed work can easily spiral into a crisis. 51% of renters are cost burdened, which means they're spending more than 30% of their income on rent. And then some other numbers, 40% of our population has debt in collections and an average credit score of 590. So you can see from both sort of an acute level and then at a deeper level, there's a lot of need for education on financial matters and that tangible assistance. So the people we serve, last year we served this is across the region, 2,500 people with a staff of 14. And the bulk of that is in financial education and financial assistance. Our folks tend to be working age adults, sort of at that just barely making it level. About 10% of them are Spanish speaking. This lady here is a prime example of many of the people we serve. She is a grandmother. She took custody of her 2 young grandchildren unexpectedly and had to take time off work to deal with court, to deal with doctor's appointments and mental health appointments. All that time she took off was unpaid. So it's not surprising that she was short on her rent. So she came to see us. She went through our Money School program, which is a one-time budgeting class. We were able to pay her rent and not only, buy her that, the roof over her head, but give her some space to say, take care of your family. We've got you this month. All of our programs revolve around this logic model. We believe in education, tangible assistance, with the hope that that brings people to independence. And as I mentioned earlier, just for context, the financial programs are the bulk of what we do. We also provide family services, which is a parenting education class, and we have a closet that has everything you would need for kids ages 0 to 4. And then our immigration legal services help people with work authorizations, green cards, and getting their citizenship. So at this point, I'm going to let Joe Bolger talk more about the FEC in particular.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm Joe Bolger. I'm the Director of Financial Services at Catholic Charities. So as you may know, the Financial Empowerment Center provides one-on-one professional financial counseling as a free public service in partnership with the city. Our 5 major outcome areas are credit, debt, banking, savings, and legacy planning. And of course, what underlies all of these is budgeting and tracking expenses. Our financial counselors have extensive training in each of these areas and are able to help clients work towards their goals in one or more of these areas, as well as step back and take a look at others that they may not be thinking about. So if someone comes in to work on their credit score so that they can buy a house, we'll help them with that. And then we'll also talk about saving for home repairs or creating a legacy plan once that home is purchased. I was talking with one of our financial counselors this morning about a client he's been working with. We'll call him Mike. He's a married man in his mid-40s with one child and an annual household income of around $76,000. He and his wife both work full-time jobs, and he also works a second job. With a higher car payment and his student loans being in default, he knew that he needed help with his finances. He heard about the FEC through a presentation that we gave at one of his jobs, and he signed up right away. Mike has been meeting with our financial counselor every other week and going through his budget and bank statements and targeting how he can put more money towards paying off his debt. He always tells his counselor at the end of every session how encouraged he feels. For the first time in a long time, Mike is starting to have a handle on his financial situation and to understand how he can take charge of his financial future. We have 2 highly qualified counselors, both of whom have extensive experience in financial, housing, and social services and have met rigorous training standards for the FEC. One of our counselors is also a HUD-certified housing counselor and a certified credit counselor with the National Association of Certified Credit Counselors, NACCC, and the other counselor is pursuing an NACCC certification called Certified Financial Counselor, which kind of incorporates credit counselor and student loan counselor and financial health counselor. One of our counselors has been seeing clients since mid-May. The other one just started seeing clients last week. So far we've had 84 sessions with 76 unique clients, and we've got another 66 sessions on the calendar already scheduled. We can't do this work alone. We work with a variety of community partners. What you see here is a map of some co-locations where we partner with other organizations to bring financial counseling to you. One of our counselors spends about half her time, 2.5 days each week, at these different co-locations, and is helping their staff as well as their clients and anyone else who finds these locations easier to get to than our main office. We're also looking into partnering with different employers to go and say, you know, studies show that the employees who are financially stressed spend 5 times more likely to be distracted at work, or, you know, could spend up to 3 hours a week of work time working on personal financial issues. So let's get in and talk to your employees and do some one-on-one financial counseling. The other things we've been doing around the city, we've been working with the Highland Center on this, as well as the Shreveport Bar Foundation. Been doing these legacy planning workshops, one in each of the city council districts. I think we've done 3, and we've got 3 more on the schedule. And we've also been in conversation with the Housing Authority of the City of Shreveport about working with their family self-sufficiency program to do coordinated case management with them. So we're working on partnerships, and we're excited about those. The other program we just wanted to mention, this is related to the Financial Empowerment Center, but also a city program that we've been working with, is called HAPPY, the Homeownership Assistance Program Participation Initiative. It provides up to $10,000 in down payment assistance for qualified home buyers in targeted neighborhoods of Shreveport. And the city has asked us to be their partner on this, and so we've been doing the home buyer education for several years now, but we're working with the city on processing the applications and educating the lenders and the realtors involved. So far this year, we've distributed this program has distributed $78,000 in down payment assistance for 8 happy home buyers so far. I know 8 doesn't sound like a big number, but that's up from 2 in 2024, and it's a big deal for each of those 8. And we've got 1 more in the process right now. So, yeah, we're very grateful for these opportunities to partner with the city, and we thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Let me first acknowledge and I appreciate everything that you all do. What has always been a concern of mine is individuals living in survival mode. And that's a real problem, because when you're living like that, no matter how well you think you have it together, there is this level of stress if you cannot take care of your family. And I'm happy for the 8 home buyers that you have, because that's legacy building, which speaks to the work that you all are doing and how that money is actually being used. I appreciate that. What is the livable wage that you all see that an individual needs to earn in the city of Shreveport that will take them out of survival mode?
I think we've seen studies that say 21.75, somewhere thereabouts.
Okay.
Yeah.
$21.75 an hour. And so if they are making that, then they are able to pay for a decent apartment,
Yep.
buy a home, all of those things. What is the wage that our citizens are making right now on average?
I think a lot of people are, it's 10, 12, or, happy to make 15.
Yeah, the people we see are definitely in that $10 to $12 range.
So honestly, if that person is making minimum wage, which the minimum wage here is what, $7.25? You would actually need. And what I want you all to understand, not you all, but what I want individuals to understand is the impact of what this has on our community when we're talking about things. And they have to have purchasing power. Purchasing power in order to do the things or the activities that we have here. But if you're not making, a livable wage, it affects your quality of life. And that's the other reason why I care less about slumlords, because housing is a big issue. So if I'm already financially strapped, and then I'm in a place where you're not paying attention to, or if I'm paying my rent, and you're doing something else with it, on top of that, that I have to meet the demands of my children that are in school, and let's not even talk about the high prices for gas, for food, and I thank God for SportTran for free transportation, if that's available to where they live. But all of those things are attributing factors to that. And we have to work to get around it. That's why that having that skilled labor force and having these particular partnerships that we have are so increasingly important. Thank you. Thank you for what you do.
Well, thank you for your partnership. So
Yes.
we appreciate it. And if you ever have any other questions or concerns, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to address them.
Thank you. I'm going to ask individuals from United Way, and if Brandon Sneed is here, I'm going to ask them to come up. To Thomas. How are you? Yes. Hi. Hey.
Good to see you. Good to see you as well.
What I called you up for, because I actually want to set up a meeting, and it's the meeting regarding SWAP. Because we've been getting calls as it relates to that, and individuals not having assistance with their water bill. One of the biggest things that we did when we knew that those rate increases were coming in, that we wanted to make sure that there was assistance available for individuals that had trouble paying their water bills. And so right now, this is not happening. And so we need to fix this, and we need to fix it expeditiously on the programming, how it needs to help in those particular entities that are the agencies that are supposed to help these individuals that are suffering. So I thought about what committee is that. I don't know a committee that would fall on the Councilman Green, because you have infrastructure. But I think for the most part, we need to make sure that we work to get that together, because we want to make sure that that's implemented. We want to make sure that the process is smooth, and we want to make sure that the individuals get the help that they need. So I'm just actually giving you all the notice.
Sure.
Okay, Councilman Green?
Also, I think we need to do something to cut the red tape, because the other organizations that were doing it then they said there was so much red tape that they just decided that there was too much red tape to go through. So if we can just simplify it, then it would make a great difference. But I'd be happy to call the infrastructure meeting that we can talk about it.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I'll have some more information for you at that time. We are and did just rewrite it with the help of community development and lots of people, legal. We did rewrite it for that exact reason, to cut some of that, but also lower the threshold so that it is more acceptable and or accessible for citizens. And so I think that's out in an RFP right now as we speak. But I'll have that information for you when you call that meeting. Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Just to follow up, we do have the list of all those that we have qualified for the 10% credit on their bill. We still have that list. I reached out to you earlier to provide you with the numbers. We're happy to carry that list over, and if we need to help with re-verification, we can do that as well.
Okay, thank you. We'll be in touch. Any other council members? Mayor Sano, do you have any awards, recognition, or distinguished guests?
Just to let the council know that you have several board appointments that I have made, and those people are present. Paul Pratt, Mr. Pratt, who gave us the invocation. Julie Bluer, who's here with the Human Resources Board, and then Pastor Michael Shannon, who's over here, has been appointed to the Civil Service Board.
Where y'all going with Paul Pratt?
Mr. Mayor, is that the real Paul Pratt?
Is this the
This
Paul
is- this
Pratt?
is-
I'll
this
say
is the
Paul Pratt.
non-SWEPCO Paul Pratt.
The SWEPCO Paul.
That's right. And so I just want to let you know in case you had any questions of them, and then we have our police report for you.
I see Miss Stephanie Evans back there from Job Corps. Welcome on into the chamber.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Also, I'd like to say to Paul, be prepared to answer about 25 questions.
Right. I have
you
about
just
10
put them
of
on
them
your
right
computer.
here.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Just for him. Just for him. Okay. You can call the police department.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I think all of you may have your individual copies of my report, so we will begin. The first slide is the felony crimes. You will see that 6 crimes reported for 2026, 25, and 24. And as the record reflects, we're 54 less this year than we were last year for the same time period. In all my presentations, when I give comparison, it is for date to date, time to time from the following year. As you'll see, sex crimes are down by 16%. Vehicle thefts are down by 15%. Robberies are down by 1%. Burglaries, and this would include burglaries of the home or the businesses, are down by 16%. And vehicle burglaries themselves are down by 15%. Next slide. Shootings are down 21 compared year to date from the prior year. Shootings themselves are down by 14%. Next slide you will see is homicides. Now this is where we're struggling. Homicides are actually up by 5 for the year, so we're up about 20% for the year when compared to the same time period last year. Year-to-date domestic violence calls, as I've said time to time, this is very troubling because it appears that the overwhelming majority of the violence that happens in our town it is because of relationships that had went bad, which are classified as domestic. And you can see that the domestic violence calls for service are up by 1%. But there has been a lot of attention over the past couple of months given to domestic violence. A lot of effort is put into place to give victims some options, more options than they had before, and to help to proceed. And we are, in fact, making more arrests when that is possible. And the trend is slowing. It is not accelerating to the pace that it was much earlier in the year, but it's still up. As I've said time and time again, one of the leading things where most of us could possibly fall victim is vehicle crashes. The chances are good that you would be involved in a crash and get harmed in the city than anything else. And as you can see, vehicle crashes are up by 3%. DWI arrests. My officers have done such a wonderful job in doing their very best to detect someone who may be driving impaired. And as a result, you can see that the arrest for driving impaired is up by 33%. Next slide you'll see is the fatal crashes. There again, vehicle-related offenses are very dangerous across our city and across our parish. 33 recorded fatality crashes in Caddo Parish, 20 in New Orleans Parish. So you see we're really leading the state. They are up across our parish by 65%. The 60 vehicles that you all authorized, additional patrol vehicles, a couple of months ago have began to arrive. We have 13 sitting on the ground right now and more coming in on a weekly basis, and we are looking so forward to getting those outfitted and getting those vehicles into service. An update on 1234 Texas. I had a good meeting, our monthly meeting last week with the contractor, and he advised that they're about 80% of the demolition have been complete and about 10% of the build back has already been done. So that concludes my report, subject to your questions.
Chief, I know a lot of times these shootings and homicide may be ongoing investigation, but in the future, if you can give us a little asterisk or just a little fact sheet on how many of the homicides are domestic violence related and how many shootings we have are domestic violence related, that will help. Thank you.
Okay, will do, absolutely. Oh, one other thing I forgot to say as a caveat, and congratulations to SPD officers and investigators. The average solvability rate for homicides across the country is 50-some%. Our investigators are closing in on the 90 percentile of cases solved. So I am so proud of the investigators. And, you know, a lot of it is due to embracing, you know, current technology that is really, really helping to solve cases in all parameters. So thank all of you for all your support and helping us to move into the future of the world by embracing technology that is out there. So thank you all so much.
Good job.
I have one. Chief Smith, the the 60 new cruisers, will any of those be take home?
Yes, sir. We have 43 or 44 officers that qualify today that live inside the city limits by our current policy. Every officer that qualifies for a home storage unit in the city limits will get one with this order.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely, every one of them. That's our top priority to make that happen. Just a caveat to that, home storage units. I did the math last week with every officer that live in the city having a home storage unit. Anytime they are in that unit behind the wheel, whether it's going to the store, going to the gym to work out, going to church, going to their child's school, going back and forth to work. They are on duty and have to help in the event that they run across something. Having a home storage unit overall, it adds 460 hours of behind the wheel patrol time to what we already do just by them going back and forth from home, not per month, per week. And I think that says a lot about this effort and what it brings to this community. That is 460 hours of that patrol unit moving in the neighborhoods, on our streets, that otherwise wouldn't be. So I think it pays off big benefit over the long haul.
Thank you.
Okay.
Chief, those 60 cars, does that include those? We get 3 for the K9s?
Got 2 for them. We bought 2 Tahoes. They have been striped out. They are just waiting on T-codes to install all the other equipment, and they'll be hitting the street.
Have we checked back with that gentleman when we got those Tahoes to see if there's been another something like that may have fallen through, or where we might be able to grab a few more of those vehicles? Because
I did about 2 weeks ago, and there wasn't any available. Everybody is grabbing what they can.
we got real lucky on those.
Yes, sir, we did.
I'd like to continue those conversations with him if he has any way to get us anything else.
Absolutely. Thank you for leading that initiative. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chief.
And it came at such a good time when K9 was actually down 5 vehicles. It was having to pull a patrol unit so that the K9s could go out and work. So thank you, sir, for
Yes,
that.
sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Chief, since
Yes, sir.
now we have all 3 of the substations working,
Yes, sir.
have you noticed a difference in the morale of the officers since they now have a new place?
I believe so. I would venture to say yes. That's something that's extremely hard to gauge, but I would say yes. I talked to an officer I ran across last week who worked the C shift, evening shift, and she thanked me for the substation at St. Vincent and 7th Street. She says, "Thank you, Chief. I'm so proud to be in something nice and cool where everything works. It's new. It just makes me feel good about my job." And, you know, that was a mushy moment for me. That felt really great.
Well, Chief, if you go to Brookshire's on Line Avenue today about 5:30, there'll be some people from District F will be there to thank you as well.
Brookshire's on Line Avenue.
Yeah, go there by 5:30, and they're gonna be there to thank you.
Line in Piermont?
Yeah.
Which Brookshire? Okay. I know that Brookshire's very, very well. That was my daughter when she was in Byrd High School, her first job. And I thank Brad Brookshire's for that. It goes deep. And you and I are probably the ones who remember S&H green stamps and plaid stamps that my mama used to get from Brookshire's.
Chief, if you can
Lick them and stick them, and go get your glasses later.
Special request, Chief, you can gas up the Bearcat and pick up Councilman Green and take him by the 4th police substation off Kingston Road.
I can make that happen.
So he can see that. I know it wasn't built, but we do have a 4th location that serves the Southern Hills area. So I appreciate
Absolutely.
you guys for that.
Wants to pick you up, Councilman Green, this afternoon?
Thank you, Chief.
All right.
Call me.
All right.
Madam Chair?
Yes, sir.
If I may. Hey, Chief, let's go back briefly to crashes and DWI arrests. How do we track the primary, not the primary cause, but the associated factor of impaired driving? Do we correlate that with the crashes themselves? In other words, impaired driving has resulted in X amount of crashes. We all know that there's a primary cause, whether it's a vehicle violation of some sort, but
Yes.
the impairment actually adds to that. Do we keep track of that at all? In other words, the number of crashes?
Absolutely. Absolutely, we do. when a crash report is done, it goes into a system, and we query that system by the factors that caused the crash. That is some of the strategy that we use to determine where traffic officers actually work and monitor traffic. You know, our ultimate goal is, you know, not to generate tickets, but to reduce accidents across our city. So you go and work in the area where the accident occurs in hopes of reducing that. But impaired driving, that is a critical part of that, whether it be impaired from a chemical, texting on the phone, distracted driving, whatever the case may be. But yes, sir, we keep track of that. Yes.
LA State Police, don't they track that? I mean, don't they have track every, like, texting and driving? Don't they have a metric that they keep track of with crashes like that? I didn't know if we did or not, because I know we use the same crash system, crash reporting.
I don't know, possibly so. I know, you know, all our reports are entered into LA Crash, which is a, you know, statewide computer system. And I'm pretty sure that LSP has the option to query that system for certain factors such as that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And changing gears here, you know, we're excited about the substations and giving the officers some new smell, so to speak.
Yes.
I am concerned about the buildings that we have had to move into to rehab, and I want to make sure that things that are needing to be fixed get fixed, because it doesn't really do morale any good if I move into a building and it's somewhat new, but you know, we have leaks or we have issues that still need to be repaired, and I want to make sure that we stay on top of that and don't let, you know, the broken windows theory,
Sure.
you know, take hold of us.
Sure. Immediately when we're notified about a problem at any of our facilities, we have a project manager, which is Assistant Chief Monette right now. He is the point person for any problem that occurs at a building that we occupy, and he communicates with the contractors and with SPAR and Public Building to get those repairs done. So everyone, all of our employees know that Chief Monette is the person you call and say my light bulb is out, and he gets it to the right people to get it fixed. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
That's all I have under special guests.
James Green's twin is in the back. That'll be former Mayor
Oh,
Cedric
yes, I
Glover.
see. I see his twin back there. I do recognize former mayor, former state representative, and current executive director of EDA, Mr. Cedric Glover, the Honorable Cedric Glover.
Hey, Ceddy.
Welcome, welcome.
Y'all can see the resemblance.
That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. I do want to extend our condolences and our prayers to Jarvis Morgan on the passing of his grandfather. Just know that we keeping you lifted, you and your family lifted in our prayers.
Yep.
Does any member have any questions or concerns relative to property standards? Well, we rang your phone all day, so you should have a list.
Getting all set up.
Sashay on up out of here. Oh, Mr. Green.
Mr. Green, I'd just like to thank you for your employees. We had a meeting in District F about, I think it was the last council meeting. And some of your employees had the wrong information that we were supposed to have been there at a certain time. But I want you to know that they, even when they realized the time, they still stayed and they had a great attitude.
Yes, sir.
So I don't know if you had to pay them extra, but they were there. And I just want to thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
It was at the Empowerment Church, and we had a great time on Broadway.
Okay.
And they gave a great presentation. Thank you.
You feel you should be able to go now.
Okay.
Mr. Jean, do you have a master plan committee report? Thank you, sir. Did everyone receive the budget to actual financial report? Public hearing tomorrow, we have a public hearing on resolution number 82 and 83 of 2026. Mr. Dark, will there be any legislation added today?
No, Madam Chair.
Okay. What happened to our legislation? Our resolution? It's been drafted. Okay. Do we add it tomorrow? You would add it tomorrow. Okay, thank you. Today, we'll hear public comments. On the, we can, because we could talk about it today, correct? Can we talk about it? Well, we should, since it's a non-agenda day. We can talk about it. Okay. We need to tell you about the resolution that we're drafting. Attorney Edwards, if you will give an overview.
The resolution is a next step in the conversation that started a couple council meetings ago regarding the tools that can be utilized by the city of Shreveport with apartment complexes. There was a discussion this morning that was corralled by Representative Stephen Jackson, who wanted to adjoin the city processes with some of the state statutes that have passed over the last two sessions. And the resolution is urging enhanced enforcement and coordination of laws and ordinances addressing property standards, property blight, public nuisances, and tenant protections, and to otherwise provide with respect thereto, asking for enhanced enforcement, asking for the city to refer criminal investigations into property owners who are knowingly accepting rent payments from tenants without then tendering payments for public utilities. So that's the resolution that's been drafted, and sounds like will be added to the agenda tomorrow.
Councilman Jackson.
First, I want to talk to the council. This is something that I believe is extremely important. Of course, we know it takes all seven of us to add this to agenda tomorrow. This is a situation we believe cannot wait. We're having slumlords in our city, and they're not being responsible. So we believe that the next steps needs to try to enforce the laws that are currently already on the books, and start prosecuting some of these slumlords and getting them out of our city. So I'm encouraging all council people to vote unanimously to add this to the agenda tomorrow, so we can begin the steps of moving forward with severe penalties for anybody who is coming to our city and not doing what they're supposed to do. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I want to add to what Councilman Jackson is saying. Under previous administration, we began to tackle slumlords. Councilman Butcher, along with Councilman Green, Councilman Jackson, and we realized that this is a really a major problem in our city, and not just in our city, but across this state. It is unbearable, it is incomprehensible that you would take rent money from individuals and not pay their utilities when they have paid you for them. It is theft. You've stolen from them. And oftentimes the tenant does not know that this is happening. And when you do this, then you're lackluster on the repairs of where individuals have to live. And I believe that we have to have a very strong stance of what we will and will not tolerate in the city of Shreveport. We had our first case that I took to court with Amor Holdings, and it was a criminal case because of how they left the four complexes in Shreveport, Louisiana, and left our constituents destitute to find housing. We already have a critical housing shortage that we look at, and it is a basic right for individuals to live in humane conditions. A lot of these conditions are inhumane. And I don't think that it is proper that our constituents feel like they don't have a voice. And what happened today was to give us clarity on what we could do as a municipality, what the state has done, and what we're able to do. So I'm asking my colleagues, as we started this back in 2021, Councilman, that we continue this and see this through, and that it will be a real change of knowing that these individuals that do this in our city, will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I want to thank Representative Jackson and thank Representative Phelps, also Senator Jenkins, for adding this layer of legislation at the state level that will empower us to be able to do this. But we learned also as a municipality what we're able to do. And as this council, as a body, we want to see this through. But we also want to strengthen what we do here and making sure that these individuals sign up for a rental registry. Councilman Butcher, they're even looking at the point where we can ban some of these individuals, legislation at the state level, where they will not be able to buy property in the state of Louisiana. And that will make a change. We have, and don't get it confused, we have great landlords in this city, but there are a few of those, that need some attention and may need their picture taken. And it's not going to be a pretty picture. But what do you do to families, uprooting them, causing them distress, pain, agony, because they don't have a proper place to live, and because they work hard, as you've already heard, what it takes in order to live in Shreveport. We cannot continue to do this cycle. We cannot continue to talk about it. We have to make sure that there is a manifested end and that you pay for what you do. And don't think you're going to come to Shreveport, Louisiana, and just take advantage of poor people, or what you consider to be poor people. I consider them to be people who are working every day. Councilman Green.
Madam Chair, I'll be voting to add this to the agenda. I get calls basically every week in my district about how they are being treated, how they won't fix the ceiling, how leaks are there, how the air is off, how they just treat people bad, and I think it's very unfair. We, as a city, we've been over backwards and let them go for months without paying for the water, and I don't think that's right. And you pay your rent, you ought to have the basic service that's in your contract, because if you don't pay your rent, they're going to evict you. And I just think that they shouldn't get off scotch-free, so my vote would be yes. And also, Mr. Jean, I didn't get a chance. Did you check out those apartments? That you have a report on those apartments? I'll see you after council meeting that I asked you about the other week. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Okay. Councilman Butcher.
I think this is a good step. This will be a first read, is that correct? So it'll require 2 reads. It's a 1 reader, so we'll approve it tomorrow. What I would like, since I've not seen it yet, there are some other things that we have talked about. One thing that I'm concerned about, and I don't know who can give me that number, maybe it's Mr. Jean. How many units has the city of Shreveport lost in the last 4 to 5 years? If you look at the Jolie Apartments, you look at Oak Meadow Apartments, you look at Villa Norte, you look at Kings Manor, you look at all these different apartment complexes, Pines Apartments, that were 5 years ago, they weren't great, but they weren't horrible. So in that time frame, now they look like a war zone. And my question is, we're talking about financial empowerment, and financial empowerment being a trickle down to the city for the economy, for sales tax, for all this. Where have these people gone? Are they the homeless people that we're seeing on the side of the street now? Have they moved to Bossier? Have they moved to Stonewall? Or have they moved into other places that may be even in worse condition than these were? So I want to make sure not only does it have teeth to make sure that these larger landlords aren't taking advantage of people in general, I also want us to be able to make sure that these properties don't get to that point, because it's almost like we went to sleep and the old Quail Creek Apartments, Jolie Apartments, was a nice apartment complex, and then we wake up and it looks like you're walking through Beirut after a bombing. So how did that happen so quickly? And those are safeguards that I think between now and the end of the year, this council needs to be also looking at. This is a first step, but I think the picture is much broader.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Councilman.
Councilman, I think what happens is there are people, because they are struggling, because of their finance, they are afraid to say something because they don't want the manager or whoever to kick them out. So a lot of the reason that we got to this point is out of fear with the people that live in the apartment, because the average person, they'll call me and say, look, I don't want my name called,
Right.
but I just need you to come and just look how I'm living over here. Don't want you to say nothing because I don't want them to move me out because they're this or whatever. So a lot of it is out of fear.
Well,
So if there's a way that, that we could put in there, whereas, you don't get penalized for, some place they call it whistleblowers or whatever, that you don't get penalized by telling the truth about
Right.
how you're living, then I think that would also make a difference.
I think
Madam Chair.
Representative Jackson brought up a good point too. Is that when they receive Attorney Edwards, you could tell me if I'm incorrect, since you were over city court as well, is that when they come before city court and we know that the tenant has made the complaint and then, now the landlord wants to evict them, that we deny the eviction.
I do prosecute, the city attorney's office does prosecute criminal violations in city court, but the eviction process is a civil process that does not include the city attorney's office at all. Those determinations are made by city court judges who obviously have their own thoughts and opinions and perspectives on the law. And most often, when a person is evicted at city court, it is for failure to pay rent.
Right.
Most often.
And sometimes if these individuals here are paying rent and yet they complain, and so now they want to evict them because they complain.
It's a JP for 4 years before I did this. The law is pretty clear as far as evictions go. And that's another aspect of this. You have to look too at the wards that surround the city. There are several city properties that are using JPs to do evictions. A lot in your district, a lot in your district, some in yours, some in his, a lot in Councilman Jackson's district. The Justice of the Peace Ward goes all the way past 3132. So pretty much that whole area is not just using city court; they're using the JP court as well.
Exactly.
But it's pretty clear. I mean, and that's one thing that I wish that there was some way that we could push, because the Attorney General's office has a very good tenant reference.
Right.
And just because, and a lot of people don't understand this, just because you have things that need to be fixed, you can't stop paying your rent.
Yep. We talked about that today.
Yep. So
As
you
well.
you can't, just because you've had a leak in your house for 2 months, report it to the AG's office, report it to the police department. I mean, those are criminal activities that they're doing.
That's one thing Ms. Baker said with the Realtors Association. It's going in and making sure that we educate tenants as much
That's right.
as possible. And I think that if there has to be a campaign there from the city of Shreveport, or that we could put on the public access channel, then we could be able to do that as well, of getting information out there.
The worst thing that they can do is not pay their rent.
Right. But telling them how they can set that up in escrow, what Attorney Edwards talked about today.
Yeah, I just think that that all makes sense, though, what Councilman Green's saying. But I think also from what I'm seeing, the way these certain properties, just take Oak Meadows, for example, it transferred from one party to another party to another party. And every time they transferred it, they were getting more money out of it. And every time they transferred it, less people were there taking the complaints of the citizens or of the people that occupy the apartments.
And
That's a big problem.
And that's why in the meeting that there's something that they discussed at the state level of trying to get those particular laws like that changed because of that pattern
Right.
of what it is that you see. But I think one of the most important things is that we actually take this, we took a step, but it's not enough.
No, and I'm for this first step. I was for the registry. That was a big step. We need to enforce the registry.
Right. And so
Yeah.
this is where we are.
I'm voting with y'all.
Okay,
So I'm
thank
good, but I don't want us to stop at that point. I guess
Oh,
that's
no,
only.
we don't need, I mean, you gonna come back if we have to keep whatchamacallit. Any other discussion? Okay, today we're here, public comments on non-agenda and agenda items. Madam Chair? Madam Vice Chair?
Yeah. Ms. Tammy McCade?
I have red eyes. You need to stop walking around with your phone. I ain't got no charger.
Put some sugar in some coffee in my sugar.
Yeah, you sure did.
Tammy Wynette Harrison Bowers, Cade, 4210 Greenwood Lane, apartment 612, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71109. Our Father, who is in heaven, holy is thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us each day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thou art the kingdom, and the power, and the glory. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling seas. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us, facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. As one of the tenants, as one of the residents, I thank you for your efforts. Everything is not okay, but I'm going to keep trying, and I'm going to keep hoping that you all can help.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Ms. Tammy?
What's her name?
Ms. Tammy Cade?
Miss Tammy, your singing was better than that video we got the
Right.
other week.
Thank you.
Because you did yours on your own, and he had somebody fix the AI. But thank you so much.
Thank you, Pastor Green.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was hoping I got the chance to say
Right.
hello.
You got it. Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Tammy?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you this morning for the conversation. I was able to take that conversation to our meeting this morning. So the input you gave me, we are looking for help to help you.
Thank you so
Good
much.
job.
Thank you.
Ms. Tammy.
All right.
Thank you.
Good job. If I had Ursha here today, I'd have shouted.
It's my birthday.
All right.
Happy birthday.
birthday.
Miss Tammy, you don't want me to sing.
Mr. Kincraft?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Members of the council, Ken Kraft, 157 Archer Avenue, Shreveport, 71105. Start out with a couple positive small things, but I really like the sidewalk work in Highland along Gilbert. I don't call them handicap ramps. I call them baby stroller ramps. It was so nice to see two young moms the other night at Prospect and Gilbert come down the ramp and go up the ramp and not have to lift the child and the carriage up. Very nice. The other thing, which is personal, is the White Sox are in first, and that's my team, and that's unheard of. They broke a losing record a couple years ago. But the three serious items, the hippo in the House, to me, is the city charter review. I really hope the next administration and council does it. I was pleased to hear from Councilman Butcher's Councilman-elect Tim Euler at the BNA Forum last Tuesday for Caddo DA that he supports a city charter review. I think that's important. I think the rhino in the room might be an audit for the Audit and Finance Committee to recommend an external audit of the water department. We spent millions, I think tens of millions on consultants. I know the consent decree was what, 12 years ago, Mr. Mayor? May of 14, I think. And we've already gotten one extension and hopefully we'll get another, but that's going to cost big bucks. The late Robert Westerman, God rest his soul, thought it might cost $750 million to $1 billion. I mentioned that, but he wasn't part of the water department. He was engineering and he wasn't really believed, but he thought it would be triple of the estimate of $250 million, and it may be quintuple that. We can't simply double the rates. And then the third final item is kind of the elephant in the elevator is index fees to inflation. We passed ordinance 23 of 19 to do a $7 sanitation fee. It's still $7. We would need about $9 a month now to make up for the lost due to inflation. You know, the chemicals cost more and the trucks cost more and the salaries are higher, but the credits are stuck at $7. The late James Flurry was willing to take the $18 with Willie Bradford. We've settled on $7, but he didn't care to index it, so it's still $7. But we've got to get we could have earned this year about $3.25 million extra had we indexed it back in 19. So moving forward, hopefully, we'll keep in mind that a fee stays flat, and then you have to come back and ask for more, and we hate to do that. And finally, Tom, I've decided CAO means casual attire only. Oh, you wear a tie on Tuesday, don't you? In 6 weeks from tomorrow night, support your neighborhood with National Night Out, October 6th. Thank you.
Thanks, Ken.
Thank you, Mr. Kraft.
Mr. Kraft, you looking like the CAO right now too, since you're picking on Mr. Dark.
I got pants on.
Ms. Cassandra Johnson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, members of the Shreveport City Council, city officials, and my fellow Shreveport community. My name is Cassandra Johnson, and I'm here on behalf of H&J Enterprises LLC, doing business as Cassandra's on the River, located at 500 Clive Fant Parkway, Suite 100. My relationship with this space began years before Cassandra's opened its doors. Years ago, my recipes and culinary vision helped bring a restaurant in this location to life. That restaurant did not remain, but I came back. Years later, we returned and we created Cassandra's on the River. This restaurant carries my name because it carries my vision. H&J Enterprises invested in a commercial corridor where businesses have struggled to remain and spaces have sat vacant for extended periods. We chose to build here anyway. We created jobs, brought customers downtown, and gave residents and visitors another reason to come to Shreveport's riverfront. In a corridor struggling to fill commercial spaces, we are asking the city not to lose a business already filling one. 6 months before our lease was scheduled to end, I contacted the city about renewing it. I was told to wait, so we waited. Over the last 4 months, we have made 5 documented attempts to move this renewal forward. 2 emails, 1 formal mail lettered, and 2 text messages. Yet today, we still lack a defined process, a timeline, or a decision on our requested 3-year extension. That uncertainty affects more than me. Our employees need confidence that their jobs will remain. Our vendors and entertainers need to plan ahead. Our guests planning holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, meetings, and celebrations need to know that Cassandra's will be here to welcome them. A business cannot responsibly plan when it does not know whether its lease will exist tomorrow. We are also asking for follow-through on this city-owned property. Our patio awning needs to be replaced. It has been without for the last 6 months since March. Leaks needs to be repaired, and the outdoor perimeter lacks adequate lighting, affecting both safety and our guests' ability to enjoy the property after dark. These are not merely maintenance issues. They affect whether this property can fully serve the public. Cassandra's on the River, Shreveport Downtown Development, and community partners are investing in bringing entertainment and activity to this riverfront. Together, we want that investment to succeed. But when people come here, they should be able to walk safely to our restaurant, sit on a shaded patio, enjoy their meal and the music, and comfortably remain after dark. We are prepared to do our part. We are asking the city to do its part as well. That is partnership. We are not asking for special treatment. We are asking for clarity, consistency, fairness, and follow-through. I am not asking this council to circumvent the city's process. I'm asking you to make sure it's done. Today, we
Johnson?
respectfully ask for a clear renewal
Ms.
process.
Johnson? I apologize, but your time has expired.
Okay.
But I do want to get some questions. Is Ms. Shelley Regal here?
And while she's coming up, Ms. Cassandra, I briefly talked with the city attorney, and I think they're working on it. I think they're close. I don't want to speak for the administration, so after Ms. Regal speak, if our city attorney can speak to the timeliness of the lease.
Okay.
Ms. Regal, can you give Ms. Johnson some answers as far as the awning that was damaged during the winter storm?
We have contracted to have the awning replaced there and also across from her. We're replacing those with permanent metal structures. We did those
have a
contracts last
timeline?
week. I'll have to find out how long the construction is going to take, but those have been contracted
Right.
now.
And can we communicate that to Ms. Johnson?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think it has been.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Regal.
Mm-hmm.
Attorney Edwards, can you explain about her lease?
Yes, Ms. Johnson, as I emailed you on Friday, we're going to get you an updated lease early this week. It's being worked on as we speak. I believe Ms. Regal has asked for a meeting to sit down and talk through that lease, and then we'll be able to move forward.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to get some clarification, but like I said, it specified that we had 6 months, and we communicated this 6 months ago, and nothing has happened. And, we have customers that's planning Christmas parties and things like that, and I can't secure that without knowing that, we will still be open for business there.
Right. It just had to be communicated in writing. The emails weren't official notice, so we just needed a written note, a written exercise of your option to extend, which you've now done, in writing, signed by a member of the LLC, H&J LLC, which you've now done. That triggers us to update the lease with the CPI adjustment, and then we're going to sit down and talk with you and move forward from there.
Okay.
And that's what I put in my email on Friday.
Okay, but yeah, I communicated with Debbie through text messages because that's how was our form of communications throughout the last 3 years. So when they said that it had to be formal, that's when I expedited it and got it to you all formal.
Thank
Okay?
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
don't leave. Councilman Green.
What about, what you saying about the leaks?
The leaks.
The leaks, yes. Since we've been in that building, we have been sustaining a lot of water leaks. It has destroyed my furniture that I had to replace. Just like the awning, when the awning fell down, we talked about the awning before because this will be the third time that it's being replaced. And we specified that awning that they put up was not going to sustain. So when the last ice storm came down, it tore up all of my TVs, it tore up my fans, the patio furniture, everything was destroyed. So it has costed us thousands of dollars because of the lack of the awning that they, was put up before. And now the water leaks that's in the inside of the bathroom, in the ladies' bathrooms, the kitchen, and the dining room, and it was in the red room. It destroyed all of our tile, which we spend over $7,000 on tile, and it has all buckled up. And if you would come to the restaurant, you will see. It's a disaster.
Ms. Ragel. So with those repairs that need to be made, do you all have that of the complaints that she has?
The repairs she's talking about had to do with the roof drains, and those were addressed this week. Talked to last week. We have talked to maintenance about going in, replacing ceiling tiles in the bathroom. That's the only place that was left, the ceiling tiles that she's reported. So I don't know about anything else she's talking about. She is correct. We replaced the awning 3 times. I think we discussed that in here. That's why we are committed to doing a different type of awning this time, which is, comparatively speaking, they're about 20, I think both of them together are going to be about $70,000 to do. So we're investing quite a bit of money in that area.
So the leak that's coming in, you said from the bathroom?
No, ma'am. It's coming in from the roof. The roof drains.
No, what I'm saying is.
Yeah, it's coming into the bathroom.
When it rains, it comes into the restaurant, and I have videos where it has like the ceiling tile. The sheetrock that they put up when we originally moved there is unpenetrated, and there's a hole that's coming through the ladies' handicap stall. There's a hole from the water leaking that's over by the drink station. All of those, so you can see where the water has penetrated through there. And it also messed up the ceiling tiles in the kitchen area. So when the health department came out, they said all of those tiles had to be replaced, in which I specified to them that those are the wrong tiles, because in a restaurant, you have to have a certain type of tile to keep from the flames, like if the building catch a fire. So they just replaced it with regular, not those tiles, just regular ceiling tiles, and not the commercial kind that's suitable for a kitchen. So I've been doing this for a long time. So when I tried to tell them those were the wrong tiles, either you have to put the commercial grade in there that's fire retardant or something like that, or you have to paint the existing tiles that they put up there where the paint is not suitable for flames or something like that. But they're not the right kind. And we still have 4 different spaces that's in the kitchen that does not have ceiling tile in it. And I told them that that's and the health department talked to Ms. Camus on the phone and told her that those need to be replaced ASAP, and it's still not replaced.
How long has it been like this?
Since we opened. 3 years ago.
I believe we have replaced those tiles.
No, we still have 4 tiles that is not in the restaurant right now. We have one by the mop sink. There's one in the dry storage where all of our food is, and there's one in the office, and then there's one over there by the dishwashing unit.
4 tiles.
Councilman Jackson.
Let me try to say this as eloquent as I can. We just had an 1.5 hour long meeting about protecting tenants from anyone who does not do what they were supposed to do. And I think as a city, we should lead the charge. We should lead by example. I think anytime we have people in buildings we own, we manage, we should make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do. We take the complaints seriously. If there's a money issue, you come to the council and we put our 7 heads together and we try to figure it out. Well, what I don't want is us trying to hold other people accountable, and we're doing a terrible job ourselves as a city. And I'm not saying that we are, but I do have somebody in front of me that is making some valid and serious complaints. And I just want to make sure that everybody around this horseshoe understands that if we're writing laws to hold other owners accountable and trying to protect tenants, as a city, we have to lead that charge to make sure that we're doing everything we can in our power for our tenants.
We got to be
Thank
good
you.
stewards. Is the roof needing to be repaired?
think, as we talked about several weeks ago, we had employed a contractor who was, we've had, up until about 3 weeks ago, we have been raining like crazy. He was able to come in and do the work to install additional roof drains. Those roof drains are going to help us get water off the roof faster, which was what was happening is during heavy rains, it was backing up. The roof drains were not adequate, and that work has now been completed. Just recently, we have now taken management of the district, and we are the ones that they're communicating directly with. So we hope that that solves some of the issues that we've been having about maintenance timeliness. But we have addressed the roof.
So is the drainage just on her side, or is it all the
No,
way around?
but there is apparently on her side is where that roof has drained to in that bathroom, which has been the one place that we have had the most water. The rest of the there's two other spaces on that side, and we're not having water in any of those.
What about the other side?
The other side, no,
Okay. So we're gonna have that side there fixed.
it was fixed. We just finished it.
So
we
we'll
don't know.
know
We hadn't had a
when the
rain yet,
next
so we don't
rain
know if it's
comes.
completely fixed.
If it is, kind of
Yeah.
like the
And
studio.
so, again, no one has compensated us on anything about the water before they apparently fixed it. Because the whole red room where we spend thousands of dollars at, where people can go in and have a private time, all of those tiles are done. I mean, they're done. And when Ray was here, he came in, the sheet, the paper and everything, you could tell it's coming all the way up. So the water leaked up under all of those tiles that we had replaced when we moved in there. And now they're all buckled up and cracked up. So it's just money wasted.
So the interior part of the restaurant, you saying needs to be addressed as well, because as a result of the water that has come down.
Yes, because it was
then
flooding.
it's
really.
caused that to buckle. I'm in agreement with Councilman Jackson as well, is that we have to be good stewards over what we have. And I think as many times as you all know, if there are issues like that, then especially for allocation of funding, let the council look at it and let us see what it is that we can do to repair it. We only have a few tenants down there anyway. How many? 2, 3?
3.
Council, I'll get you after Madam Vice Chair.
Ms. Rago, I know we had some issues as far as communication with the property manager that was there. Do you have a number that Ms. Johnson can have someone to communicate with?
Yes, we've communicated with her. We've also told her we'd like her to make all of her requests in email so that we have a record of all of the communication between us.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Councilman Butcher.
So when did the property manager stop managing that?
End of July.
So recently then.
Mm-hmm.
Have you checked with her to see if we've got emails from the restaurant about what she's complaining about?
Yes, we have.
And there are emails. It's just, did it just not get communicated to us?
Well, yes, it did. I
Emails
mean,
and videos.
yes.
Oh, you have video too?
Oh, yeah, I send them videos to the emails.
I mean,
Showing all of the water leaking everywhere.
I've said for 8 years now, the city needs to get out of property management.
I agree.
No offense to anybody at the city, but we need to, we can't get police, fire, water, and sewage right as far as we don't need to be managing. We do a good job of what we got, don't get me wrong, but we need to focus on the basics and not to being a landlord for a restaurant.
Right.
I'm sorry.
You're correct.
And, I think that is something that the next council and the next mayor or the current mayor, whoever's still on this council, really needs to address is let's get rid of some of this real estate. We own enough real estate in the city of Shreveport to
I
start
agree.
Disneyland.
Yeah,
And I just think that we need to, because this is a perfect example.
of why we don't need to do this.
Right. So I'm glad that it's under city management now and you don't have a property manager anymore. But this has been a persistent problem for quite a while because I know we've discussed it over and over again at budget season. So, and I was, I think that just a perfect example. I was coming down Market Street this weekend, and we need to power wash the We did this building. We need to power wash the convention center.
It's set to be power washed.
It's just basic upkeep that we have to do
Yeah.
to our properties. But I really, really hope that we'll take a deep look at getting rid of some of this stuff. No offense, it's not going to help your problem right now, but I really hope we do. Thank you.
In agreement with what Councilwoman Bowman was saying about the awning too, is to, y'all get her a timeline as expeditiously as possible so she could find out when that awning is going up. But you also said something, did you say something about lighting?
There's
Yeah.
some outside lighting that we thought was going to be replaced. It's been purchased, and I have asked our staff to go put it up.
Okay, so we can get that done.
Mhm.
That is a dark area, but I'm in agreement with them is that we need to get out of the.
These are
property
decorative
management.
lighting. The big light, all the light, it's very bright underneath the Texas Street Bridge now. We've replaced everything with LED. These are decorative lights.
Those are the lights that goes on the patio where everybody else has lights out there.
But it's to make everything look pretty.
So it's
Yeah.
part of the lights on the patio as well.
Right.
In the back, at our back door, we don't have a light at the back door. That light is out as well. So I had to do some stuff. So we just kind of peep out the peephole and things before we go out the back door to make sure ain't nobody standing back there. So the
And
lights
do we
are all back
compensate
there.
for damages? Or is that on? Do we
So-
compensate for damages, or are they required to have their own insurance for things?
They're
such as-
required to have insurance. Yes, sir. And we, if you will email about the back door light, that's the first I've heard of that.
Yeah, well, it's part of the lighting. When I say the lighting on the outside of the buildings, so I'm specifically saying about all of the lights that's particular to Suite 100.
We can get that timeline, make sure that you report the lighting back to Ms. Regal, so she will be able to have that. And then you can provide the council an update as to when all of that is completed. We won't know, till the rain comes, if everything is working the way that it is supposed to be working, Ms. Cassandra. And have your insurance or whomever, to fix the internal repairs, I'm sorry. But we'll try to see what we can do best going forward. But I definitely want us to make sure that there are no roof leaks for anybody else that's a tenant in the building. But I do agree, Councilman Boucher, Councilman Jackson, we need to get out of the property management business, and we need to take this off our hands. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you. Amber Clausen.
Yeah. Good afternoon. My name is Amber Clausen, and I'm the manager of Ready Partners. We are a small family-owned real estate development company, and we've been working in Shreveport for the past 6 years with a particular focus on the Cedar Grove area. I wanted to come before you today because there is a lot of conversation in our city about blight, affordable housing, neighborhood revitalization, and economic development. And I'm curious if you are aware of the citizens who are aligned with those programs and already doing the work. We've purchased vacant and distressed properties, we renovated homes, we built new homes on vacant lots, we put in our own money, raised private capital, partnered with public agencies, including the Louisiana Housing Corporation and the City of Shreveport's Department of Community Development, and kept pushing forward even when doing this work has been much harder than it needs to be. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can drive through Cedar Grove and see it for yourself. Specifically, we're on Lexington Avenue between the East 61st and East 65th. I've been listening to these meetings for a while, and when I hear how much time and energy this council spends on responding to blight, deteriorating properties, and property owners who simply aren't taking care of what they own, and that work is absolutely necessary, but I would gently suggest that we should also be putting some of that energy into finding and supporting the people who are already doing the exact opposite of that. We've been doing this for 6 years, and we're still struggling to navigate systems that are supposed to help make this work happen. One example is our current contract extension with the Department of Community Development for the development of 5 single-family affordable rental homes. We've submitted our requested documentation on March 30th, and nearly 5 months later, it's still working through the process and still requires the mayor's signature. I don't mention that just to complain about a contract. Delays have real consequences for small organizations trying to get things done. We don't have unlimited capital or staff to absorb months of uncertainty. So maybe there's another question the city should be asking. Not only, how do we get negligent property owners to do better, but also how do we help the people who are already doing better do more? This is an election year, so I want to extend an invitation to our current mayor and council members and to anyone asking the citizens of Shreveport for the opportunity to lead this city. Come and see what we're doing. Walk the neighborhood with us, tour the houses, look at what was there before and what's there now. Talk to the people in these communities who are turning the city's goals for neighborhood revitalization into something you can actually see, and then ask us what support looks like. Sometimes it isn't another program or another study. Sometimes it's access to capital, removing an administrative roadblock, connecting the right people, or simply having someone inside government willing to pick up the phone and help figure out how to get something done. Or maybe it's just knowing what great things are going on right under your nose. We don't expect the city to do the work for us. We've demonstrated that we're willing to do the work. Our door is open, and I sincerely hope some of you will take us up on the invitation. Thank you.
Ms.
Very nice.
Ms. Clausen? Ms. Clausen? Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Have you talked to Ms. Howard?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Okay.
Ms. Clausen,
Yes.
right here. Did y'all do the houses on Lexington?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I believe I did meet with you over there.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I had got you in touch with Ms. Howard and maybe they were expediting. Did that not happen?
Nope. We're still waiting on the contract extension.
Okay. Well, the houses look great.
Thank you.
I don't understand the financing part. That's not what I'm in, but is Ms. Howard still here? Okay. Is her phone number on that?
No.
No, I meant Ms. Clausen's phone number.
I can hand to you.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll give you a call this week. Thank you.
The same part on our end, as the council, we don't negotiate the contracts or whatever partnerships that you have. They will actually tell us that of what is being done in the neighborhood. So whatever the dollar figures are and all of those things right there would be whatever proposal it is you all did and want to bid or the contract. We're not in that part of it.
Understood.
And so if it is something that you're doing in the community in that particular council district, then you can email that council person and then let them know exactly what it is that you all are doing. In that way, then the council will be aware of what is happening in that neighborhood. And it's always good to make that particular connection with the council members that are there, because you have 5 council members in that district. Sorry, we're not there.
You're still more than welcome to come and take a look. We would love to show it to everybody.
It's them right there.
Understood.
It's not us.
So, Madam Chair,
Yes.
just real quick, this is exactly the type of projects that I have been hoping that we would get in areas like Cedar Grove. In fact, myself and Councilwoman Taylor and Councilwoman Bowman earlier this year spoke about the master plan
Correct.
and incentives for organizations and companies like yours for adjudicated properties
Right.
that could possibly maybe we waive some permitting fees,
Correct.
maybe we waive some sales tax on your building materials to be able to get you in and start building, especially people that have a track record.
Correct.
And I've seen the area that you're talking about. So just because you may not see it in this meeting,
Right,
there are other meetings that are going on
right.
that are trying, and we see the benefit of what you're doing. So
Correct.
thank you, and anybody else that's doing it. In fact, I had a conversation with a builder about Allendale on Friday about taking some of the adjudicated properties and redeveloping it. So that's the only way that the inner city is going to be able to rebound. Because right now you can look and we look like a donut because everything in my district is brand new. The majority of my district is. But in 20 years, it's not going to be. So how do we maintain that area plus start rebuilding in? Because we're it's like the developer and I were talking on Friday. we're kind of landlocked. We got the river to the east. We've got DeSoto Parish to the south. Where else are we going to go? We've gone about as far south as we can go.
There's plenty of lots right there in Cedar
Bingo.
Grove we can work
And
on.
that was exactly what our conversation was.
Exactly.
Bingo. It's got to be interfill into the city.
Yeah.
Correct.
And so I appreciate what you're doing. I had to say gently, I liked your gently, what you put in your, I just wanted to gently say that there are conversations going on.
Okay.
wanted to
That's
say-
just a gentle suggestion, you know.
General suggestion.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome to come to Queensboro.
saying. I'm already doing
Sorry. You're welcome to come help in Queensboro.
I'd love to.
I think the most part of what he is telling you is these are the things that we actually want for our neighborhood. And so we tell them these are the things that we would like to see that's happening in the community. A lot of, when we fully funded property standards with their budget, because they were always the department that was always getting cut. The whole process of us doing that was when you tear down a structure that is, beyond repair, is that you rebuild on that structure and working with community development, with developers that were local, that understand the need for housing. That's what we were doing. We started that with under Perkins and moved that right over here. That's the whole premise of doing that. And so what you're doing, you want it highlighted, because we want to build the inner city too and build private-public partnerships. Because there are families that still want to live there.
Yeah.
And they need home ownership. So I applaud you for what you're doing. So if you didn't think that we didn't know you before, now we know you.
Thank
So
you.
don't be mad if we call you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, this concludes public comments.
Okay.
Tanya, can you get this?
De Niro, Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Washington. I was going to call you up the first of the meeting, but Gary didn't remind me. So would you tell them what's going on the 4th of September?
So on the 4th, in partnership with the Shreveport Regional Airport, we'll be opening the Gateway Hub Sport Trans News facility on Hollywood Avenue at 10 a.m. We'd love to have all of you there, and it's in, of course, Councilman Green's district.
Do you have any tents out there for the heat? We ain't trying to stand outside in that heat.
We'll make sure you're taking care of that.
Okay, thank you.
When you come to District F, we will have tents for you.
And water.
And water.
Can you come pick me up so I don't get lost? I ain't never been out there.
We'll have you taken care of. Thank you.
Will we have any snacks, Mr. Donnell?
We definitely will.
Yeah, we'll have snacks. What you want, barbecue what?
Ribs.
Ribs, all right, we got you, all right.
Mr. Washington, we'll have something for you.
We'll give you a certificate to go to Morrison.
No, I'll give you one to go to Bonanza.
Thank you. What time again, Denari?
10 a.m. on September 4th.
I got one question for you before you
Yes,
close
sir.
up.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you give us any details about the new routes on Pines Road? Or
Yes, ma'am, I can. So
Please.
we are implementing September 7th, which is Labor Day. We're implementing a new West Shreveport route. We're actually adding 2 buses to the West Shreveport area. We saw the demand grow. We had moved it to on-demand service. Worked very heavily with Councilwoman Bowman to design some new routes, some new areas. So we will basically bring back Pines Road. We also are opening a new city facility out in that area, which will be the Public Works facility and Water Department. So we wanted to make sure we also provided better service to those facilities. So starting September 7th, you will see additional service in the area going both ways on 70th Street, both ways on Pines Road, and actually decreasing the headways in those areas.
Mr. Washington, I want to say thank you because a lot of the citizens there did ask for this and you listened and you made it happen. So thank you so much for that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
There are no items under consent agenda for introduction or to be adopted. Mr. Dark, please proceed with regular agenda legislation.
I apologize for us not being able to do this one in 30 minutes, but we'll do our best. We have a good bit today. Let me see if I can try to get through it as quickly as I can for you. Resolutions 78 and 80, both were postponed last time. They're oil and gas leases. Both of them are in Councilmember Bowman's district. 78 is for some property, basically rights of way and adjudication in the general area of Newcastle, and 80 is 73 acres in in the area. Basically, Shreveport Country Club, there's a well being drilled there. So this would allow us to reap some royalties from those if those are approved. 82 and 83 are the subject of public hearings tomorrow, but just to remind you, 82 is for the Andrus Artists and Entrepreneur LLC. This is a renewal for 5 years for $3.6 million in investment. We will be waiving just a little under $12,000 in tax revenue. 83 is for the Twin Oak investment in the 2700 block of Linwood. That was a $1.7 million investment, and the waiver is a little over $7,000. And we will have a presentation for that tomorrow. 86 and 87 are requests by homeowners to connect to the city water and/or sewer system. And 88 is a resolution that Madam Chair has offered honoring Mr. and Mrs. General Washington.
Okay, any questions? Mr. Dark, would you proceed with introduction of resolutions not to be adopted prior to September 8, 2026?
Resolution 89 is a CEA with the Stoner Hill Neighborhood Association. There's an old rec center at Valencia Park that they have asked for the use of, and Shelley has worked together on a lease for them. They won't be paying rent, but they will be paying maintenance, upkeep, and utilities. So that will save us a little money and give them something they can use. Resolution 90 is donation of 3 properties in the 6400 block of Fairfield to CIRA. The intention is those are in the area near Fairfield Elementary Magnet School, and some of the support groups, parent groups, whatever, that felt like if they could get those, they could provide a little additional parking for an otherwise landlocked elementary school.
Madam Chair? Yes. On the Fairfield Elementary, had a conversation last week with the president of that organization, and so this is moving forward. I told him I thought it was coming up pretty soon, so this is moving fairly fast.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's all of those. We have a whole series of mid-year budget adjustments. I want to remind you all that I believe your next meeting will be a combined administrative conference and council meeting, since these will be up for final passage. If you have any questions between now and then, we'd like to try to get those answers to you as quickly as we can, and to take advantage of the fact that it is a one-time meeting. 83 and 84 essentially are pairs. You all earlier in the year gave us the authority to take some dormant money in the diversion fund and use it for public safety purposes. And the primary purpose of 83 is to move $288,000 from the diversion fund into the public safety fund, and 84 to receive that. But 84, the public safety amendment, recognizes the fact that revenue from the Blue Line tickets is going down. This is actually trying to make up for some of that, so that we'll still have a little money for the rest of the year to operate. But that's basically, those two are together. The next 4 are TIF, all 4 of the TIF districts. And the reason we're doing these is we get dinged if we have revenue we don't recognize during the year, so we're trying to make sure we do that. I believe 85 is the one for District A. It will be adding a little over $102,000 to reflect the actual fund balance from last year. 86 is for District F, and it actually reduces by almost $50,000, also to reflect a little bit of difference in fund balance, but mostly to reflect that actual revenue is down. There is still plenty of money in that fund, so that the programs that the councilman has started, we're not bankrupting them to do this. There's still a little bit there. 87 and 88 are for the 2 medical districts. Again, all they're doing is recognizing additional fund balance, both of those getting a little over $500,000 each in new revenue. 89 is the community development budget. Now we're starting to get into a series of budgets that in one way or the other are done partly because the budget needs amending and partly because we are making some changes to try to ease the burden on general fund this year. Community developments actually is dropping by about $400,000, but $250 of that is because Bernie was able to use some prior year workforce development grants to pay part of the salaries for the year, so they're not going to need as much general fund money. The other is because part of their budget is a percentage of the Blue Line revenue. So there's about $150,000 that's dropping out from that as a result of the lower numbers. We're going to talk to Vernie about trying to, that actually affects the group that was here a while ago about financial empowerment. We're going to try to see if we can help them out to try to see if maybe we can mitigate that impact a little bit. 90 is amending the riverfront budget. The main thing we're doing there is their fund balance was a little bit lower than we budgeted, but the main thing is we're going to try to be a little bit more conservative about casino revenue in light of the Bally's and Samstown acquisition, and we're not absolutely sure quite what's going to go on there, so we're going to try to be a little bit more conservative. The main thing we're doing in that budget is reducing the amount of contribution that Riverfront gives to general fund, so we can try to maintain the other things that we do from Riverfront without any other real problem. 91 amends the MPC budget. They've got a little less revenue than they thought. They've also underspending a little bit on personnel. We're going to be able to remove about $30,000 of the general fund subsidy to MPC. Mr. Jean is okay with that. That still allows them to hire if they can later in the year, perhaps for an executive director, assistant executive director. 92 is a long one. We're amending the general fund budget in a whole series of ways. The actual bottom line impact is a reduction of a little over $800,000. We had some revenue shortfalls we had to offset. Our fund balance at the end of the year was a good bit lower than we projected, really for two reasons. One of them we get to offset later in the year. Auditors don't let us count property tax revenue unless we get it by March 1st. We got a good bit of tax revenue later than that this year, which we're going to be able to count as this year revenue, but we couldn't use it as fund balance. There were some disputes about assessments that did not get resolved until later in that time. We also had one really large claim that we had to account for, and to some extent sales taxes the last 2 months of the year after you've actually adopted the budget were not as good as we'd hoped. And what we've done is we've offset that really by a couple of things. We've made some cuts in some budgets, not very large, mostly unused salary money. We are moving a great deal of money around to reflect the need for additional funding for maintenance and fuel and things like that in almost every city department. We found a little bit of extra oil and gas revenue that we believe is coming in, and we have some additional building permit revenue. We were able to do all this essentially without having to hit the reserve at all. We've also cut our sales tax assumption by $2 million for this year. We've tried to do all of that and balance it out in a way that had as little as possible effect on city operations. We provided this one a week or so ago to Ms. White, and if you have any questions, please contact either me or her on that one, because it is a lot. Ordinance 93 is zoning case 25104C, piece of property at Jack Wells Boulevard in Kansas City from C4 to I-2. This is the Alloy Piping property. They're going to try to make it all they're taking an adjacent piece of property that's zone C4. They're going to keep a fairly large, I believe, 50-foot barrier between that and the I-2 property. This went through MPC without opposition and was unanimous.
Mr. Dark, you're
Yes,
speaking to the mic because they can't hear you.
I'm sorry?
Speaking to the mic. They can't hear you.
It won't reach
They
any
can't
further
hear
than that.
you
If I
online.
lean any further over, we're both in trouble, but I'll try. Okay, I'll try. 94 is zoning case 2676C, piece of property at Lassus and Line Avenue. It's for a home that has been on the, essentially adjacent to commercial property for a good bit of time. There's a CPA who wants to put a home office in there, and this one also went through MPC unanimously and without opposition. The last one is 95, which is 2678C, Monkhouse near Liba, from R17 residential to C3. The proponent wants to put a used car lot there. This one also went through MPC unanimously without opposition.
Okay, any questions? Okay, Mr. Dark, it's a lot of money that is moving around, and so I'm gonna need you to provide a little bit more clarification on exactly where these dollars coming from, where they're going for the council. because they need to see these numbers in real time.
Be glad to.
So for Ms. White, I want to see those fund balances that was there at the end of last year as compared to where we are right now. While we move in here and what these particular dollars were for, I want the council to be clear as to what they're voting on and where these particular dollars are going, because I think that the council has some ideas too on some budget items that they want to make some moves on as well. So please proceed with ordinances on second reading and final passage.
Okay. 75 and 76 are companions. They're allowing the purchasing agent to advertise for and receive bids on some surplus property. 75 is some basically vacant and property we purchased under a flood mitigation program, and that one, these have been postponed. 76 is for the field ops property being vacated by water and sewer. The idea is that these will be sold. The proceeds, as we told everybody in the bond issue discussion, would be used to help build the new building for Public Works on that site. 77 amends the debt service budget. All we're doing there is reflecting the fund balance that was in the audit. Still plenty of money to pay for your debt and plenty of money in reserve for that. 78 amends, 78 and 79 both amend the grants budget. 78 moves a little bit of money in 2 federal JAG grants from vehicles to contractual, and 79 increases 2 small grants by a total of $49,500. 80 amends the solid waste budget. I think we're going to ask you to postpone that tomorrow. We are still working on some things that might affect a few of those numbers, and there's no reason to pass that tomorrow while we're still working on that. 81 is moving money around in water and sewer, moving money from unused salary money to supplies and services and a little bit to their reserve to try to make sure that they hit their bond coverage number. But they have plenty of unused salary money, and we're trying to use some of that to make sure we can buy chemicals and pay for power and pay for fuel and the things that they need to do. 82 is a capital amendment, adding $517,750 to an airport roadway repairs project, and all of it is coming from either the feds or the state, so there's no local money in that. That's all, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, thank you. I lost it. Oh, solid waste.
Yes, sir.
Does that budget, I looked at it, does the budget include any kind of new equipment at all? Or
Well, the budget this year included some new equipment, which they've bought, some new Packers. That was money we financed.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have Packers down?
Jarvis is here. He can answer that one. I don't think our issue is Packers as much as it is people to drive them.
The CDL issue?
Well, last year during the budget season, when Mr. Morgan came before us, he talked about, when we were talking about equipment and the equipment that was needed, he expressed that we were losing drivers. And what we were looking at is wanting to raise that particular hourly wage to like $22, $23 an hour, and looking at that. So we can keep that, so we wouldn't be where we are right now.
Wasn't there, though, there was some discussion a couple of weeks ago about you having a couple of trucks down though, right?
No, sir. We have full operational trucks. We don't have drivers. Like today, we put out 27, 28, so we will be short on the Monday route.
Well, then maybe.
The question might have been the bulk pickup trucks.
Yes,
and
Well,
that's a different issue.
I think probably what he meant when I asked him about it is that he didn't have enough people to put on the trucks. Not that the trucks were broke down, just didn't have enough people. That, and this is not yours. This goes back to 81. I'm very reluctant to move money from personnel or salaries from the water department. I don't explain that to me again on 81.
81, water and sewer has some surplus salary money right now.
Come back, Mr. Morgan.
Don't leave ours. I'm sure there's 81. Water and sewer has some surplus salary money. We're actually not touching, but just a small part of that. because they needed some additional money, as a number of other departments have, for fuel and maintenance this year, and we're just trying to make sure they have enough money to get through the year.
See, that's what I'm saying, with some of this stuff seems to be a little bit more complex, that we need clarification on that. Because I'm gonna go back again to last year during budget session. And the issue were CDL drivers and the pay. That was the issue. When we were talking about equipment and wanted to get new equipment, and we talked about the salary. That was not instituted. And so same thing comes with water and sewer, because they have drivers as well. What do we turn around and get ready to pay those individuals? So I get a little bit perplexed with this, because the issue is still at hand. So since I hear you all talking about it, what we doing? Because how do we plan to attract those particular drivers when it's a shortage? Because we can't what do they get paid? I think it was like, what, $18, $19 an hour? What they get paid?
They started at $19.58 an hour, right?
So we know we're not competitive in that area. So the thing is, what we doing? Because again, that's going to, what I wanted to avoid was where we talking about right now. When we talked about that during budget session, because he was the only one that was like bold enough to say what was really needed for his department.
Well, and I think too, and sorry, Councilman, but I think too that the most critical thing, like I said earlier, is we've got to be able to take care of those basic needs. And I had an email, and I think y'all got it taken care of very quickly in Providence, that, you know, trash pickups on Tuesday, this week, Thursday, their trash wasn't picked up last Thursday. So it was 2 days behind. I know personally my trash is being picked up either Wednesday afternoon. It's supposed to be picked up on Tuesday, either being picked up Wednesday afternoon, or it's being picked up Thursday morning. So there is a what I don't want to see is what we saw when Councilman Green and I came on this council 8 years ago, where we had trash piled up and down the city because we didn't have enough trucks or manpower. So I see that trajectory coming, and, you know, and I misunderstood what you said. I thought you needed trucks, but then I saw the mayor's post about needing to get the CDL drivers up and everything. Well, we need to be trying to stop that bleeding before we have, because, I mean, it's already impacting the citizens.
That's what we was trying to do last year.
Yeah, I remember.
Madam Chair.
Yes. Hold on, Councilman Green.
So, Ms. Morgan, you've been doing this and you've been doing a great job, and you know your business, you know your work. So to handle what we need to handle as far as you keeping folk working for you, that you will have folk coming to work, what is it that you know that they need to get paid an hour?
I'll let the CAO, which we have something in place that we should be in effect coming pretty soon, and we've been working on it, so we will be seeing the impact in our drivers because we have addressed that issue, and the CAO can, if he wants to address. I don't want to spread the good news, but I think he would want to say that on his end.
Effective Monday, we have raised their rate by $2 an hour.
So how much will that bring them to?
$21.78.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how does it affect the individuals? Do you have individuals that are already at that rate?
They're actually, what we have done, Madam Chair, is the starting pay will be going up to $21.78, and anyone who is above that is also going up the same number of steps that the increase is. So everyone who drives with a CDL for solid waste will in fact be getting an increase, not just the ones who are on starting.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Councilman Jackson.
I know it takes about 3 to 8 weeks to get a CDL. I know we have a lot of driving academies in Shreveport.
Mm-hmm.
Due to the shortage, are we willing to modify the employment and waive the year experience and possibly consider some on-the-job training to fill these vacancies?
The 1 year,
and then maybe that's something you can answer. See, the attorney got his mic on, so we'll let him go.
The 1 year requirement is is a consequence of the insurance that we have. It was a 2-year requirement that we walked back to a 1-year requirement in working with our insurance provider. So we're already about where we can go in terms of the coverage that we have.
Jarvis is working on something that we're hoping to implement, where some of the folks that are currently working on the back of the truck, or for that matter, anybody else who wants to be trained, but particularly for the refuse collectors, where we may be able to train some of them to get the CDL certification. What I think that we have in mind, they're still going to have to work a year, but we have the opportunity, I think, to pay them a hybrid rate between what they make now and what they would make as a full-blown driver, and to use some of our off time, which we hope we'll start getting again on Wednesdays, to do some actual on-the-job driver training, because we'd like to grow some folks if we can. Now, Jarvis also, just so you know, I think you hired, 3 folks in the last week?
Yeah, we interviewed 11 people last week. We may had 5 qualify. So we're waiting on the backgrounds and the drug testing. So we should be able to get those working pretty quickly. So
Drivers?
yes, ma'am.
Madam Chair.
Okay, let me get Councilman Green, then Councilman Talaferro.
Because, when you say, well, we went up $2, because I know Mr. Tisdale over at Magnolia School, just for first-time drivers or whatever, they pay them $18.50. So just think you can go and drive a school bus for $18.50 just starting out.
No experience.
Versus getting on a garbage truck where you in the cold, where you in the heat, whether you're in whatever. So to say, well, I'm gonna make $2 more than that, then that doesn't inspire people, because it just doesn't. And then you have to also ask yourself a question as to, we up here, who do we know would, out of us up here, that would do that job for that price and be satisfied? And so I commend you for doing what you do, and whoever's keeping them going. But I just think we need to take, as Councilman Butcher would say, a hard look at what is it that we can have a suitable rate for the people that will do the jobs that other folk would never do. And so I just want to throw that out parenthetically, because it's a crisis. It's like this kind of weather like this.
Yes.
I mean,
Okay.
I don't even see flies outside. They don't even go out. Flies be at your door knocking, saying, man, can we get in and get some air? They don't even. But anyway, but that's what we need to do.
And that's one thing that we expect during the summertime, is the amount of employees that we will lose due to the amount of work and the weather in the summertime. You got hot. It's the trash. It smells a little bit more than it does in the cold. Yeah, so those guys they need to be well compensated, and we've been working on it, and I think we'll start seeing an improvement here. Which that always happen around this time of the year, but I think moving forward we'll be able to get some guys in to help us out a little bit. And like you stated, I have been working with diesel driving schools, try to get the guys that's on the back of the truck educated to kind of move up a little bit. So that's been helping, and they real excited about that. So hopefully that'll beat around the experiences that they need, that we're asking for the 1-year experience, that they will be able to qualify to go ahead and get on the driver's seat of the truck once they get their license.
So Mr. Dart, it's not 1 year driving experience. It's just 1 year.
1 year driving experience. It was 2, but I did communicate with the attorney and told them that we needed to.
But if they're working on the back, how do they qualify for 1 year?
Because they have the experience of what's going on in the job experience.
Councilman, I think what we really would like to do, I mean, Diesel, among other things, when they're doing CDL training, I don't know, they used to go to the fairgrounds. I don't know if they still do, but these guys are going to need to, in the time when they're not working otherwise on the truck, like on a Wednesday most of the year, be able to go someplace and drive so they can get some driving experience, because we're really not allowed to put them out in traffic until they get to the end of that first year. but we've got to have them where they can say they have been driving for a year, even if the driving is in a controlled environment. I'd be gone. You know, that's how you get to that year. And I think part of the idea is to try to attract those folks by saying, you know, there's a good bit of difference between what, I mean, a refuse collector makes $15.45, I think, an hour right now.
Mhm.
It would be nice to be able to try to say, you know, if there's a $7 gap or $7.50 gap right now between, you know, what a driver makes and what you make, let's try to bridge that gap at least somewhat for someone who's got a CDL, you know, hopefully in exchange for them staying with us.
So, Mr. Dart.
Yes, sir.
So that we won't be, we'd rather be safe than to be sorry. And I know you make a lot of, you make a lot of money up there on the second floor. You think you could find another, instead of $2, you could find $3?
We have some other things that we're working on for the new budget year that can make this larger. This is where we can go now, where we don't run into some parity issues
Okay.
across everybody's departments.
Because we can get you a new money press.
Yeah, you might need to buy one of those.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
This is not the end of what we're working on.
Okay.
Councilman Telefair.
Jarvis, just a couple of questions just for clarification. When I'm a driver, I drive. That's it.
No.
Okay,
That's
that's what I
not.
wanted to hear. I have another ancillary duty. I drive and I pick up trash.
Correct. Yes.
Correct?
Some of those drivers, like for instance, if they're short that day, they do have to get out in the
And
seats.
so my difference between just picking up trash and driving and picking up trash, what's the dollar amount there? Like I made $15. I don't know. I made $18. I made $18 an hour and throw trash, and then I'm a CDL driver and I make $21 an hour and I throw trash. And I
That's
drive.
why they call an operator collector instead of like an actual.
So how much
seat.
do they make an hour?
Which ones?
The operator collector.
That's the same.
I mean, I'm sorry, just the person that collects, that don't drive.
The person that doesn't drive minimum rate. In fact,
15.
you all did some of this at the end of last year when they, you know, we got them above $15 an hour. They were 14 something. Right now it's 15.45.
And those this starting off, the guys that's been back there before the raise, they make more. So
So it's only a few dollars in between?
It'd be $6.33, right?
Yeah.
Starting
What's
next.
the incentive to drive?
Because I see the guys that's down my street, the guy that's driving the truck, he gets out and
Right.
help them.
Gets the ground.
Right.
And they work as a team. I watched them. I mean, they work as a team. So the driver, he puts the truck in park and he jumps out and help them. And I mean, it's tough out
Well,
there.
I'm not here to try to fix that. I'm just trying to understand it, and now you make me understand. And I think a CDL is a CDL. So if we help our employees get CDL, because there's nothing keeping them here. So maybe we should look at some kind of retainer. If you get your CDL, then we need a commitment from you to do whatever.
Yes, sir.
You know, because I don't want to be training somebody else's employee. You know,
yes, sir.
we already do that with the police.
Yeah, we're making it happen right now. We drawing that. We're putting the line together for that as well.
Okay.
And granted, we have been able to help a lot of the employees that are working in public works get their CDLs, and they're still working with us. And that's a big bump, as you know, it's going from 15 to 20 some dollars an
Well, I
hour.
want it
That's
to
a-
be a reward. I don't want it to go, well, we're not going to help you get that because as soon as we get that, you're gone. No, I mean, I want them to stay, but I want them to stay because we're treating them equitably and, fairly. So,
Yes, sir.
thank you, Madam Chair.
Go ahead,
One
Councilman
last little
Boucher.
question that popped into my mind. So do we know what CDL drivers are making in Bossier
Yep,
for a private company?
yep.
I don't want, you can text me.
You mean for
Yeah.
You can text me. I don't want anybody to run off.
like a waste manager?
But, I know, and then I would like to see a comparison of medium-sized cities that have privatization of trash pickup and public trash pickup, what the fee is.
It's funny that you asked that because I called around and I even called some of the competitors pickup, and their response was, "I'm not sure if I should give you the information." So they don't want us to take their driver. So and like I say, city is the perfect place to work, and I get a lot of guys that would love to come and work for us.
Well, I
And,
mean, our
yeah.
benefits are better. There's
Yeah.
no doubt. And I'm not saying.
I think he should already have it. If he did if Mr. Dark did the benefit analysis, then we should pretty much know where the driver should be.
Well, and then the other part of that though is what are other cities our size
Right.
paying? Councilwoman Bowman and I had this conversation about some South Louisiana cities. I know smaller municipalities in North Louisiana that I had trash pickup with. It was $30 a month for trash pickup. I mean, those are things that they're hard questions that need to be asked, and we should look at that. And I'm not saying replace or privatize, but what I'm saying is we need to at least be. I mean, basically, you're operating a trash company that, and it is a company because that's what it is. You're operating a trash pickup company that is living in the late 1990s, basically, and we're losing people and we're band-aiding this thing together. And we really just need to kind of take a look at what other people, what do they pay across the river? Mr. Dart, do you know what they're paying in Bossier for trash pickup?
I want to say they have two different fees that they add. I believe the garbage fee is 18.
Yes, it's
something
18.
like that.
And I'm not saying we go to 18, but I'm just saying that is a hard decision that we're going to have to look at because you can't continue to operate a business and operate it like you were doing it back years ago. And I think originally what we planned a lot of this on was the Bossier. When we went to the 1 day a week trash pickup, it was, and Mr. Dark, you were probably here or around during that time, right? We planned a lot of that on the income that was going to be coming in from Bossier.
Actually, we weren't really trying to make money on Bossier. We were just trying to break even.
To supplement us, though, right?
Well, we pretty much we made a very small profit on Bossier. We weren't trying to make a lot. We were trying to essentially
Supplement
do some economies of scale stuff and help our landfill out a little bit at a time when it was possible that the stuff might have been going someplace else.
Well, I would like, if y'all don't mind, put those numbers together. And I'm not asking. I just would like to see how much people are paying in similar sized cities for trash pickup. And I also would like to see what the drivers are making.
Yeah, we don't have to go at it forcefully all at once. We could just take steps year by year and let the citizens look at the improvements that will happen once we do that. We don't have to go full-fledged $18 with the trash fee. We can just jump it up maybe $1 and just show the citizens, hey, look, there can be an improvement if we up the garbage fees.
Well, and that's what Ken Kraft just said that. Yeah, he just said that. So, okay, thank you. Sorry.
Yes, Mr. Dark, would you check to see when we did the increase, I think it was $7, then a portion of it was going for the workers and the other portion was going in the reserve fund?
I think so. Right now, it's all going in the solid waste fund.
Yeah.
The
intent
was
the legislation that we drew up, that I supported, that I authored, and Councilman John Nicholson co-sponsored. And it was, part of the money was supposed to go for the employees and the other part was supposed to go into the reserve.
That was the intent, was it to build the reserve up, but also to give, I want to say it was 5 and 2, maybe $5 went to operating and 2 went to reserve, maybe?
Lawyer, could you find the legislation for tomorrow?
Yes, sir, just requested.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. But I'd just like to see where we are because it was specific in there that we would pay the workers and the other percentage would go into the reserve because at that particular time, I think what we had in reserve, Councilman Booth, about $2 million.
It was about 2% of the budget, 1%,
Right.
2%.
And that's all we had. So I don't know what's in the reserve now, but that's how the legislation was supposed to be.
I'll admit that's the first time I've ever heard that one. So
Yeah,
it
that's
wasn't
the
here
only
when-
that's
wasn't
the only
here when
way
that was
it
done. So
that's the only way that it passed, really.
Yeah, that's the only way that it passed.
Right.
Now that we have a better reserve, it's not necessarily something, I mean, if there's legislation, you might want to change it at some point, but let's see what Attorney Edwards comes up with.
Now we'll see what it was supposed to be.
You can text John right now. I know he would know off the top of his head.
He will.
I mean, here's the thing.
Probably got
now,
it chronicled somewhere.
The general fund's spending between $6.5 and $7 million right now just to support the solid waste fund. So if you put some money in the reserve, we'd just be putting more money in from the other side of the general fund. So it's really all the same money at some point. But we'll see what Attorney Edwards comes up with.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Appreciate
I
it.
appreciate it.
Ms. Morris will be praying for you about your granddad.
Yes, sir.
Madam Clerk, is there any other table legislation to be removed from the table? We have no property standards appeals to consider today. We will hear ABOP of Xavier Green today. Will Corporate Glass Bradley or SPD Representative Ms. Green come forward? Attorney Edwards, will you swear them in? Can you raise your hand?
Do you swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You must know I was out. Corporal?
Good afternoon or good evening. The ABO office respectfully recommends that the City Council uphold the denial pursuant to Section 1066(1) of the Shreveport Code of Ordinances, which requires the applicant to demonstrate good character and reputation. With this applicant, Green has an extensive criminal and arrest history dating back to 2008, including arrests for a 2008 misdemeanor theft, a 2009 felony theft that was resolved to misdemeanor theft. 2016 has an arrest involving public intox, battery of a police officer, and resisting. Also in 2016 was arrested for aggravated battery with a dangerous weapon and felony criminal damage to property. These charges, however, were rejected. In 2022, arrested for third-degree rape. Some of these charges were later rejected or reduced, not being treated as convictions. But of particular concern was the most recent matter in 2022. Ms. Green was arrested for a third-degree rape, which the case resulted ultimately in a misdemeanor sexual battery in February of 2023. She received 6 months sentence, which she concluded with time served. The ABO office recognizes that arrest is not a conviction and has considered final disposition of each case. However, when viewed as a whole, the applicant's history, nature of the most recent conviction raised a little bit of legitimate concerns, whether she currently meets that good character and reputation requirement for ABO Class A. The purpose of the denial is not to impose punishment for a criminal history, rather that the city has a responsibility to determine who is authorized to work in positions involving handling and pouring alcoholic beverages, particularly when the applicant's criminal history presents concerns relevant to the character and reputation requirement. For these reasons, the ABO office respectfully requests that the City Council uphold the denial of the Class A ABO card.
Councilman Jackson.
Detective Bradley, when somebody who holds the ABO card, when they get arrested or in trouble, is that an automatic revoke?
So if there are alcohol offenses, we go out there and you have more than 2 alcohol offenses within a year, we can bring it before council to have that card revoked.
What if it's not an alcohol offense? What if they're just arrested for and convicted or misdemeanor, felony, all the above, and I have an ABO card?
We wouldn't be able to track who all the people that we process.
When I come up for a renewal,
yes,
check that.
That's when we do the background check.
Okay, and that's once a year. I do renewal.
No, for a Class A, it has gone up to 3 years. So once every 3 years, okay, be a background check.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, Councilman Green.
So what's the distinct reason why she has been denied?
It was the last charge that was pled down to the misdemeanor sexual battery, but it was a totality of all the arrests going back to 2008. So it's the character and reputation.
So, Madam Chair.
Yes, Councilman Brooks.
Ms. Green, where are you currently employed?
Yes, sir.
Where are you employed?
Olive Garden.
I'm sorry?
Olive Garden.
Olive Garden.
Yes, sir.
Are you a manager?
No, a server in the bar.
Does she need a Class A? I thought Olive Garden was primarily food.
Yes, she would just need a Class B, but she says she's going to be a bartender, mixing and pouring drinks.
Half of Class A.
So her record is she's not denied by the state. This is not like the other ones that you usually come up.
No, sir.
So this decision is strictly up to us.
Yes, sir.
Would you come up, ma'am? So you work at Olive Garden, and you'd like to be a bartender,
Yes, sir.
right? So let me ask you this: if, say, for an instance, this council decide today that we would say, okay, we're going to trust you, what is it that you will say to us that if we trust you with this, as to what would be your commitment as to doing your part?
I follow all rules and regulations so that nothing happens. I don't want to be in trouble anymore, ever. Like, before the prior incident, I hadn't been in trouble in like 10 years. Like, so I'm not just a big troublemaker. I just want to make an honest living and go on with my life.
Well, it's kind of like with how tough it is out there, with me, I try to do my best to help everybody that I can.
Yes, sir.
And, me, I have to say the Bible has said to us that we all come short. And we have two types of people. We have the called and the uncalled. And there are a lot of times that we fall down, but we get back up. So I don't know if anybody else got anything else to say, but
I guess I want to make sure I understand what these charges were again. The latest was a Corporal Bradley. It was a what was the charge, and then what was it pled down to?
That was a 3rd-degree rape. It was pled down to misdemeanor sexual battery.
What year was
She
that?
served 6 months. The arrest was in 2022. The final disposition was in February of 2023.
And there was another sexual assault too at some point.
No, that's what it was pled down to.
So
No, sir.
before in the previous criminal record.
It was the aggravated battery, but that was dismissed.
So there hasn't been anything since 22.
22 was the last arrest.
And prior to that, the one that was dismissed was 2016.
Yes, but she did have in 2016 was a battery of a police officer, public intox, and resisting.
But that was dismissed or not?
No, it was a misdemeanor. It was misdemeanor battery. And public intox, yes.
Is that why y'all standing up? Because you said assault on a police officer? Because y'all standing up like, we ready for
I never.
So this is.
I never asked this question, but what's the chief? I mean, the chief is ultimately the one that signs off. Chief, give us your 2 cents on it.
Corporal Bradley deals with it much more on a basis than I do, and I think the rationale today is to let all of you know what brings her character into question. And that's basically it, for y'all to understand that.
Right.
And I think the other one, the Class B, is different than the Class A, obviously, but to let you know what has happened in the past to bring her character into question.
Yes.
Madam Chair.
So,
Yes.
Things I also look at too is that she's working for a reputable establishment. This is different if you had a mom and pop, bartending at a club, but Olive Garden, has overlays in itself.
Right.
How long have you been at Olive Garden?
Since December.
Okay.
Since December of last year?
Yes, ma'am.
And you want to bartend at Olive Garden?
Yes, sir.
So right now you're a server?
Yes, ma'am.
Have they asked you to bartend or?
Yes.
Okay. You don't have any documentation of that from your manager or anything like that?
No, sir, but I could get it.
So, go ahead, Councilman. Go ahead.
Well, I was actually going to make a motion, but in my motion, I was going to say to you, if you don't have a good church to go to, find you a good church. And in doing so, it would make a difference, and I was going to make a motion to give unless there's otherwise, Madam Chair.
Jim, this your district?
It's my district.
Which is your district?
Olive Garden, Shreveport?
Yes, sir.
And so I was thinking that she doesn't have the job as a bartender, but if she gets the documentation from her manager, it says that they want to promote her to this particular position based upon her character, what she's done for the last almost a year from the restaurant. I think that would be something for support documentation that she could have. What are your thoughts, Corporal Bradley?
Like Chief stated, our biggest concern is, I try to use as much discretion as possible. But when it becomes an issue of the last charge is, letting the public and you all know, what has happened in the past, just in case.
But
if
it was pled down to a
misdemeanor.
To a misdemeanor.
Yes.
Sexual assault. Is that what it is?
Sexual battery. Yes.
And I don't necessarily say I want to go on the record, but I know a lot of times in those cases, we don't know what happened. I mean, it could have. If I do this and she tell Chief, that's battery, based on the law. I'm sorry, So
I just felt like he wanted to hear.
and I don't know if we want to go on the record the details, but sometimes, from my experience, the title of the crime can sound more harsh than the reality of what happened.
Well, my concern, and this is my only concern that keeps going back into my mind, is anything that has rape as a charge is scary to me. Right. I mean, just honestly.
Right.
But if it was pled down, then also what the attorney just read what third degree is. I'd never heard. Explain what third degree rape is.
So third degree is when the person is incapacitated and can't give consent.
Can I add something?
Go ahead.
Well, yeah.
It was also proven because she said that we drugged and raped her. And she woke up and said that she didn't remember anything. So if you didn't remember anything, how do you know? Just assume that we drugged and raped you. When the toxicology report came back, it was nothing in her system. She didn't have no alcohol in her system. She didn't have no drugs in her system. She just woke up after that night and decided, oh, I'm calling rape.
Who? You said we.
Is
this with somebody else? You and somebody else?
Me and 3 other girls.
Oh, 3 other girls?
Yes, sir.
It's like, go ahead.
No.
It's like, for an instance, a could be like you standing here and I do this. I can be charged with a battery because that's what the law says. But what she is saying is that if somebody wake up and they want to say whatever about you, that this is what happened, and you don't have no defense, you don't have no video, you don't have nothing, you just...
And she didn't have to register.
No, she didn't. It was pled down to a misdemeanor sexual battery conviction, and they gave her for 6 months time served.
Can we do a 6 month? Can we make this where it's 6 months and then reevaluate it in 6 months?
We're not gonna be here.
Well, y'all can. They can.
As my cousin would say, me and you ain't gonna be here.
I think if you have whatever the reservation, if she has the support documentation from her manager promoting her to bartender to speak to her character, I think that's good support documentation that you can have.
She's been
and
there
she
sick.
can bring.
Can you get it by tomorrow?
Yes, sir. And she bring that back.
If you bring it
And-
tomorrow, we'll vote.
And I agree with Madam Chair, and
Yeah.
Councilman Brooks can speak to that. Typically in those restaurants, a bartender is a promotion. It is an elevation. They don't just let anybody just bartend because they tend to
Right.
make a lot more than the servers.
Right. Well, I would, if you could bring a letter of reference from your manager. I don't want it from, I mean, I'd like for it to be from the general manager.
Correct.
Attesting to your
Character.
Then I guess, can we revisit this at the end of the meeting tomorrow?
Or does it have to lay over 2 weeks?
You would take a motion, someone would make a motion to hold the conclusion of this hearing open until tomorrow so that you can review
Additional
documentation.
It'd be very nice if your manager could come.
I make that motion as she just stated to keep this
I'll
hearing
second
open
it.
until tomorrow, pending review of those documents.
Same time. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So get your manager to hurry up and, yeah.
All of them.
You know, as many people as that you work with, I mean, I'm not trying to put a burden on you, but there is that little bit of hesitancy in the back of my mind. And look, we all make mistakes, but I just, it would make me feel a little bit better.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Don't leave. We got to vote. Can y'all bring some breadsticks and apple? I'm sorry. I'm just.
Yeah, just play. You bring them, we can't even eat them. We won't eat them.
Marcus.
I just like
Marcus is.
We'll have to give them to Doc Voorhees. Doc Voorhees will be the only one eating.
Yep.
We couldn't
I
even
love
eat them.
Olive Garden.
Are we
So-
voting on the motion to hear this
So,
tomorrow?
Yeah.
It's been motion second. Discussion. Let's vote. Okay.
I'm gonna bring y'all.
We have no.
Meet y'all outside to go reward.
It's passed at 7.
We have no MPC and ZBA appeals to consider tomorrow. And are there any other appeals, Madam Clerk?
No, ma'am.
Are there any reports from officers, boards, and committees?
Madam Chair, is it my understanding that the next meeting, we want to have an infrastructure meeting to discuss what we were talking about earlier?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a question. When is the next meeting? I thought it was the 14th and 15th.
September 8th.
The 8th?
September 8th. yeah.
September 8th.
But it'll be one meeting
It'll be
until,
one meeting.
Because of the holiday.
because of the holiday.
But the first is on a Tuesday.
We meet second and fourth.
It's or
Monday.
Tuesday, right.
I'm sorry?
We meet second and fourth,
We meet second.
Monday and Tuesday.
Mondays and Tuesdays.
So the Monday doesn't count?
It's
The
technically
Monday's in August.
it's technically the second Tuesday. The meeting is the second and fourth Tuesday.
Oh, the work session
The
doesn't
work
count?
session is the day before
Right.
the meeting.
Got it.
So a second
Combined.
Tuesday that follows a first Monday is technically correct.
Correct.
Right, and the 7th is Labor Day.
That's correct.
Correct.
Oh, and Madam Chair, did y'all recognize Councilman Green's tie?
Yeah, did y'all recognize that he had on a
Did you have
shirt
anything
with a
you wanted
collar?
to say, Jane?
I just want to say we're having a meeting, infrastructure meeting on the, what is it, the 8th at, September the 8th at 1:30. And go on, Gary, tell them about my tie.
Madam Clerk, is there a clerk's report?
No, ma'am.
Executive session, there is none. And Gary and Green can go to Morrison's and sit down and talk about his time. There's nothing else. This meeting is adjourned.